and welcome to Barovia. I am your humble master of dungeons, keeper of dragons, and late presser of buttons, Pixel. And I am pleased to present to you the 22nd episode of Ages of Einor presents The Curse of Strahd. Hello, everybody. What's up? As always, we're going to get into the game here in just a few minutes. But before we do, we are going to use our usual housekeeping stuff. But given that we're 22 episodes into this nonsense, I'm going to try to keep it extra brief. But just in case anybody's new, first things first. On map screens, try not to spoil things. You're going to see GM stuff. It'll be slightly grayed out or semi-transparent or behind a wall that it's obvious the players can't see through. So if you see any horrible monsters the players haven't noticed yet, or any, shiny glowing magic objects they can't see, don't talk about it in chat, because our players often are hanging out with you guys, cutting up and enjoying the adventure together with you. So don't spoil anything for them, please. Secondly, don't freak out about rules. There's a lot of them in this game, and we also make a bunch of shit up as we go. So if we're asking about like a particular ruling, I don't remember how a mechanic works, and I'm trying to think. If you got those fast fingers, you can throw that into chat. But if I don't see it, we're not going to go back and fix it. We'll just try to get it right next time, so don't lose your mind about it. Third, this is an open and welcoming space, so we do try to keep that internet toxicity stuff out of here. Never usually a problem with you guys. You guys are a great community. But we don't put up with people being abusive or hateful in chat, whether that's to other viewers or to players regarding anything like knowledge of the game or the rules, their character choices, or really, frankly, anything else. As I said before, you guys are always great, but we do try to give that heads up just so that you can't say we didn't warn you. Fourth, this adventure is horror-themed and may contain elements that are unpleasant or disturbing. We're not aiming for excessive graphic content, but in the context of a live stream, we won't be able to give content warnings, really, as much of what we're doing is improvised. We do try to put those kind of content warnings on the YouTube video description and the podcast descriptions when it goes up. So if those are concerns for you, then you may wish to consume us in that context. And then a reminder, we do release the show on YouTube and as a podcast after each episode, as I just stated before, during that following week. So if you do miss an episode or have to miss part of it, don't fret. You can still catch all the stuff that you missed if you want to be caught up for the next episode. Typically how that works, if you're one of our patrons, you get early access on Sunday at noon. Otherwise, it goes up the following Wednesday, which gives you about a week and a half to watch the episode and get caught up. And then last thing, of course, before we get started, I'd like us to go around and cast. If you'd please introduce yourselves and your characters and remind us if you have chat inspiration or not before we begin. Starting, of course, with Vincent Page. Now, I'm sure I missed a bunch of stuff. Thank you. Oh my God. Thank you for the level 1 hype train. Good Lord. Oh, no, you're starting the harp train. Holy cow. Okay. Anyway, thank you, Skittle, 13 months. VP, 17 months. My God. You guys are amazing. We love you so much. And, Vincent Page.
Hello. I'm Vincent Page. Tonight, I'm playing Ash Fireforge, and I do happen to have chat inspiration.
Excellent news. Omega.
Hey y'all, my name is Omega, and I am playing Onyx Montarik tonight, and I do have chat inspiration.
Okay. Great news. Ozzy.
I'm Ozzy. I'm playing Cass Amble Crown tonight, and I do have chat inspiration.
Thank you so much. And Bonus Mom.
Hi, I'm Bonus Mom, and I am playing Wanderess. It used to be Circle of Straws. Circle of Straws. Yes. who had a cleric, or no, a druid who had a mania for drinking soda with straws. Yes. Who is now a cleric, and I forget what kind because I don't have my character sheet in front of me. But anyway, cleric. Yes, changed. So hello, I'm a little discombobulated. I'm 350 miles away from home, and I'm in a motel room looking into a computer screen. So bear with me. Glad to be here. I do not have chat inspiration. I also don't have a bottle of water or my notes.
Wondrous.
Straws. Circle of Straws, druid, enemy of the turtles.
Excellent. And of course, I am Pixel. I will be your Mungeon Gaster this evening. No, your Dungeon Dastard. No. I will be your villain this evening. You can find me here on Twitch at twitch.tv/hammerandpixel, where I play a whole bunch of games. And also, obviously, you can find me here at Ages of Valinor. We alternate campaigns every other week. We do Curse of Strahd, and then next week will be Region of Bedegar, and we flop back and forth until we finish one of those up, and then we will replace whatever we finish up with some other campaign. We have been doing a whole lot of stuff on the channel recently. Not going to bore you with all of it. We've talked about a bunch of it lately. We've done some Stars Without Number tutorials. You can find those on YouTube. We are trying to get into some Kids on Brooms tutorials, but we are having trouble finding enough people, so that may be on hold for a while. Who knows? Once we wrap up one of these campaigns, we may be trying to run a campaign in one of those other systems so you guys can see some real hands-on experience with it, not just in the context of us doing a quick tutorial live stream, but like a full short campaign. So that could be a lot of fun. Keep an eye out for those things. In the meantime, enjoy our 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons content, as always. And last but not least, let us begin. So, without further ado, when last we left our heroes, they had slain the druids and berserkers, completing some fell ritual atop Yester Hill, a massive barrow hill in the far southwest of Barovia. The druids had stolen a gem from the soil of the Wizard of Wine's winery just to the north, and the druids intended to use this gem to bring some sort of animation or something to the evil plant statue of Strahd they had made atop the hill. Through careful tactics and liberal use of fireball, the druids had been slain. However, Wandress had been rendered unconscious at the end of the fight, and we began last week with Wandress unconscious, having an encounter with Barovia's dark spirits. In his panic, he cried out for help and was answered by Celethiel, his purple star, who, it turned out, was a goddess of divination and hope. She asked Wandress to be her champion in Barovia and to see to the beings there as she would see to him. Mechanically, this was changing Wandress from a druid to a cleric of nature. However, the party discovered an evil-looking massive tree in a small grove at the back of the hill once Wandress was conscious again. Upon approaching the grove, numerous blighted plant creatures exploded out of the bushes and attacked. After their harrowing encounter with the druids, the heroes were hard-pressed by the horde of plant monsters, I like the alliteration there, and reminiscent of their battle in the winery just the day before, which is wild to think about. You guys got attacked by plants in the winery and then went and got attacked by plants literally the next day. It's a bad 2 days. Onyx was knocked unconscious immediately, being a little too slow to make it back to the circle of rocks atop the hill for safety. It was a desperate battle, with Onyx in danger of death amongst the plants, but eventually Cass's moonbeam and Wandress's spirit guardians were able to blast most of the smaller, weaker blights, and Wandress then bravely leaped into the roiling mass of vile plants and made his way to Onyx to heal him, only for Onyx to go down again. Wandress himself had nowhere to stand but directly in the moonbeam, but stood his ground to protect his little friend. After a long struggle, they slew nearly all the blights. Onyx was healed once again and managed to strike the final blow against the last blight, and all was silent save for the sluggish breeze through the ominous trees. That rhymed. I didn't really intend that to rhyme, but it rhymed. Our heroes then investigated the tree to find a corpse and a strange-looking blade embedded into the tree. Ash reached for the blade and had a vision of a church atop a mournful hill cemetery under a bright, full moon. He searched the area and saw a strange, life-size doll of a young woman, then made his way back to the door of the church. As he touched it, he was returned to himself and held the strange bladed contraption in his hand. This contraption was wielded by the first hunter of Barovia, Kavan, a strange-looking blade that is able to change forms in battle to act as both a close and a reaching blade, extending into a wider form for crowd control and cleaving, or up close and personal form for getting nasty face-to-face. It also grants temporary hit points to its wielder when it tastes the lifeblood of a creature. They then discovered that the tree at the back of Yester Hill is a Gulthias tree, an evil tree that spreads blight across the land and is likely responsible for all these damn blights and evil druids here. They chopped the tree down, but they know that unless it is fully uprooted, it will regrow over a matter of months and continue to spread its evil in Barovia. They returned to the Wizard of Wine's winery, gem in hand, to inform them of what had occurred at Yester Hill, And that is where we resume our tale. So you arrive at the Wizard of Wine's winery, the stately old building sitting amongst the field of neatly tended grapevines. What would you like to do?
So we haven't talked with the owners yet, right? Or had we done that?
I think I alluded to it, but I don't think we actually did it, so we should probably kind of go through that and handle,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay. Well, then that would probably be the first thing I think we should do is go turn in our bounty here and see about gaining some passage to Valaki, right? And also, it's probably dark, about dark 30, right? Because we were trying to beat the nighttime.
Yes, I believe it had just turned to night because you barely got in before the small child over your shoulder. Anyway, you had barely got into the place before before the night fell, which turned out to be a good idea because I think some of those, if you had waited, would have been encounters that you would have had in the woods. So
Yeah.
narrowly escaping as night fell, you would reach the winery.
Go beans. Let's go talk to the old man. Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
So you knock on the door of the winery and are ushered inside by that one guy whose name I can't remember. It was like the younger man who met you. Like Anders or Adrian, that's it. So Adrian leads you in and takes you to Davian. Adrian and Davian, of course. That's easy to keep straight.
Definitely
Takes
not
you
confusing.
into the place, and I think he probably takes you in, and you find Davian in the like the barrel making room, sort of like working with the wood with his old gnarled hands. And Adrian says, "Father, they are back, alive apparently." And the old man looks at you and says, "Right, well, what happened?"
Well, we found your band of druids, and they have now been disposed of. And also, I think we may have took care of a pretty evil tree, which I think maybe Wondrous here. I forget who exactly out of game. I forget who exactly had like good information about it, but
I
It
think
was Wondrous.
because I think we
think it is the trouble. Is it the thing about it's causing all the trouble? It's responsible for all the stuff.
Right. So the
Help me, I
Golthias
don't
tree.
have my notes.
Yeah, I got you. The Golthias tree is a big evil tree. You don't know if it was planted by the druids or if it merely attracted them, but it is responsible for all of those blight creatures and stuff.
Blights.
And the druids are able to use it to make more of them and bigger and nastier ones. And you probably, I'm just going to give you, think that that's what they were trying to do. You think that big statue was probably like a massive blight creature because it was made out of plant stuff and they were trying to like animate it. So you think it would have basically woken up and gone on a rampage, probably, directly towards this winery, frankly. And you know that chopping it down hurts it and it makes it unable to spawn any more blights, but that in order to truly destroy it, you have to uproot the thing. And that was the thing that you guys didn't feel like you could do on the fly.
We didn't have the equipment or the time to do it, and we were too damaged. But Wanderous would say to this person, it must be dug up. It must be rooted out, completely removed from the soil, put in a place with no soil around it, and burned, scorched, ruined, destroyed. Or you will have it all to do again.
Well, I can't tell you how much of a service you done for me. And me and my boys can go down there and take care of that here shortly. Maybe tomorrow or the day after, something of that nature. We got the shipment of wine ready for my other. He sort of like gets a grimace on his face, son, in Valaki at the Blue Water Inn. Well, if you're headed back that way, we'd be obliged if you could send it along. I know that's what he done sent you up here for.
It is important, in lieu of recent events, that the people of Vallaki have that wine. It is almost all they have left to bring joy into their lives. Pixel,
Well-
I can't remember. Did I actually do? We talked so much about me doing the plant growth thing to help the land. Was I able to do that?
I
You
thought
ended
that
up
did happen.
you ended up not doing it because you just went to go get the gem back instead, which you guys have accomplished. So if you give them the
Alright.
gem back, it will bless the earth again, and their plants will keep
And who
going.
has the gem now?
Onyx, I think,
I
picked it
do.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, I still have it because I dug it out of the chest of the construct of
Okay.
Strahd.
Well, before Wondrous is done, Wondrous would just say, if you will allow me, I have a spell, I have a ritual that I could perform that would help until the gem begins to take hold again, that might help your wine to prosper. I will do that for you. I'm not sure if I can do it before I rest. I will see what I can do.
Well, we would be mighty obliged. We don't have much to offer you, but we do have the last bottle of what's the name of this stuff? Hang on, there is a name. It's like this champagne stuff, but I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head. Damn it. Adventure? Where is this information I need?
Wild Irish Rose is probably what it's called if it's something really fine.
No, it's not.
The really good stuff.
Oh, it's not late. It's just their champagne. Yeah. Sorry. This is very lame of me to be doing. Yeah, he says our, right, our, it's called, Riche Leroy, number 3. And he
I don't think this guy knows where he's from.
Yeah, listen, he wants it to sound fancy, so we gave it a fancy name, okay? And he sort of like snaps his fingers, and not Adrian, but one of the other sons goes off down into the cellar and brings back a very old and kind of dusty bottle of wine. And he says, I hate to part with it, but, well, it's about the only thing I can give you that's even close to worth what y'all done for us.
How very kind. Thank you so much. Is there some place we can rest? I will not be able to perform my help for your vineyard until tomorrow after I rest.
Yeah, we can find a spot for you. Yeah, because you guys had stayed here once before, so we can sort of hand wave the rest of this. I guess I have the question. We don't have to keep role playing this. Are you guys willing to help escort the wine back to Vallaki?
Yes. No? Maybe?
I thought that, yeah.
Okay,
I
so
mean, we're headed that way anyway, right?
yeah. And I think that it'd probably be for the best. That way we stay on good terms with the folks, in case we need further help, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I thought that was the plan too. I think we were going to ask anyways, like, hey, can we just ride with it? That way we don't have to
Yeah.
walk all the way back.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it would probably be. Actually, I'll say here's the trade-off, right? It'll be slower going because it's like a slow wagon, but I'm gonna say you don't have to roll for random encounters while you're with their wagon. So this will just
Well.
like get you back to the Locky.
That's
We
better
unlocked the
than
fast
nothing.
travel.
Hey,
Yay.
ba-da-da-da.
Anyway.
Okay. So yeah, and then as the night goes on and as you're going to the next day and stuff, before you guys go, Wandrous wants to do the ritual, which you can do, which will actually bless their entire crop and make it more fruitful this year. So even with the gem, this will kind of like double down, and it will probably be the best year for wine in Barovia in quite some time.
I've
Well,
got to
and
ask.
I'm going to go ahead and use a spell slot. I'm just saying because I don't have 8 hours.
Okay.
Is Onyx going to give them the gym back, by the way? Like, just out of curiosity. Like,
Oh yeah, right. We do need to
Hadn't
address
gave
that.
it to him. I don't know.
I was like, we didn't really role play that. We kind of just. I was like,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So I guess we should ask. I mean, they're gonna. I'll tell you, they'll be a lot less kind to you if you keep the gem for yourself and
No,
don't give it
yeah,
back. They definitely
no,
won't
I-
help you get back to
What
the
do you
Locky.
mean
You'll
a
be,
bottle of
you'll be
champagne?
walking
We
your-
got a magic nature
You'll be
gem right
walking
here.
your ass all the way back there.
Oh my god, yeah. No, I'm gonna go ahead and give it to them.
Okay.
Probably in the morning once Wander says a ritual.
Okay.
And I'll just say keep it secret, keep it safe.
Nice.
I was just curious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just wanted to know.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So the day, dawns in Barovia, and you guys make your way to the wagon, as explained, and you can head back. It is. It's like 7.5 miles back to Valaki. And I will say probably on the wagon it'll take you about all day or so. But you don't have any random encounters. So we're going to pop over to the map for everybody. Oh, that's the wrong map screen. That's the right map screen.
Can I just say I wish we had a bard with us for this trip, solely for the
Right.
fact that for the medieval Barovian edition of "Rock Me, Mama, Like a Wagon." All right.
So
Yeah, that'd
anyway.
be great.
Old
Yeah,
Barovian
so-
medicine show.
you all and Adrian are in this wagon, sort of getting carried along. Adrian's driving the wagon, and you are just sort of making your way downtown, walking fast. Faces past. You're in Valaki. Boodle-doo-doo-doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo-doo. We have just a cute little montage, and I guess let's do the montage. Are there any like scenes? Like, are you guys like playing playfully with each other, running around the wagon, or are you just sort of like sitting there watching the dreary scenery slide by? Is there anything anybody wants to do as this sort of wagon creaks along the Barovian road?
Cass just pulls out her journal and starts, just writing down everything that's happened the last couple of days.
Okay, so we have Cass journaling.
Love that.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and review my spell book, and I'm gonna go ahead and look and see if I want to replace one of my cantrips.
Okay.
So
Okay. Wanderous has already shared the story about this dramatic thing that happened when he was unconscious with his god, with the person Salathiel appearing. Salathiel appearing and giving him a new directive as to what it is that he needs to do to serve her, and that he now feels that he's actually called away from following the stars to looking at nature and the earth around him. I don't know that he knows that he's a cleric yet, so he probably wouldn't exactly say that. He would just say, I'm strangely drawn to try to take care of, this world and see if I can bring light back to it. He would just tell Ash and Onyx about what happened to him.
Okay.
He also would spend a lot of time looking at the trees, the leaves, the grass, the water, the path, the animals. Looking around, not up.
Gotcha. And Ash.
I was going to say Ash does this thing every night before they turn in. They also write in a journal. Just like a little throw off thing here. Ash plans on publishing a monster hunting book at some point. So Ash has been kind of recording their findings and stuff they've learned from people in Barovia. This is like the perfect place for, putting information into that. So I'm not going to be writing in a journal because we do that every night. But I probably would pull out the new blade and kind of just be studying it, because this is obviously not a weapon that I would be familiar with fighting with, right?
Right.
So probably spending some time to kind of figure out how it works. And
yeah, so you spend some time figuring out the mechanism, figuring out like how much force you have to use to like sling it, because this thing basically, it has a handle and then a sort of like locking hinge and then this sawtoothed blade on the front of it. And if you pop the hinge, it like flips out the blade and doubles the reach of the weapon, right?
Does it turn into like a scythe, or is it like a spear? Is it like a straight, or does it?
It's straight.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not like hooked like a scythe. No. It's
I didn't know
it basically it's like when you flip it out, it's like a long, like the handle is half the length of it, and the blade is the other half the length of it. But when it folds down, the blade kind of covers the hand.
Right, so you would like hold it by like this and kind of, well, anyway.
Well, you could hold it two-handed, but you see it's kind of designed in the smaller version to hold one-handed, but the blade comes all the way down in front of the hand, right? As you like hit people with it. And then when you flip it out, you can double hand and it's just like the blade is farther from your body and has a wider arc. But you would know it doesn't hit quite as hard that far out. But
the trade-off is
you can hit multiple people in a swing.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like for the purpose of this making sense, Ash would have to spend some time kind of studying it and be like, okay, this is how this works. Because otherwise we're going to get into a fight and be like, oh. Yeah,
flipping it out, seeing how much force you have to use, seeing how the blade is balanced in the different forms. Yeah. Very cool. And then you guys... Sorry, go ahead.
The only other thing is I probably would like spend some time like kind of showing them and seeing if any of the magic users, like, is there anything wrong with this? Like, is this got some, maybe ask if they can detect and see if there's anything going on.
Sure.
Because, Ash hasn't shared the vision with anybody, but like definitely a little off put by it. Sorry, I didn't mean to like.
No, you're good.
On that out.
I'm with it. Who do you want to approach about it?
I probably would. Probably Wondrous first, because Wondrous is just kind of like staring at trees and not writing in a book.
Okay.
But if they at some point during this all day ride stop writing in their books, I probably would eventually get around to everybody.
Okay.
But Wondrous first for sure.
Yeah. So Wondrous, Ash approaches you. If you guys want to, I think let's role play that out. Ash, what do you say?
Sorry to disturb you, Wondrous. I was just wondering. Since you're privy to all the arcane knowledge and stuff, especially the nature stuff, do you know anything about this, or could you tell me anything about this?
About that great and mighty weapon that you have in your hand?
Well, I sure hope it's great and mighty. I haven't had a chance to use it yet.
Let me think about it a moment. Do I want to think arcanically or historically? Or naturally?
So I guess that is kind of the question to ask, right? What sort of information are you attempting to ascertain here? Do you want to know, is it good or evil? Do you want to know what its magic does? Do you want to know like what they like, where the blade came from and who wielded it before? Like what kind of insight are you seeking into this thing?
Now, are you asking Ash that or me?
I guess I'll start asking you, but you can ask, if you want to ask Ash what Ash wants you to figure out about it. All of that is great gravy with me. It's just kind of going to mean a different check gets made, right? Based on what particular type of stuff you want to find out.
Ash, you found it embedded in that tree. and it was being held by that dead person. Let me think a moment. I'm going to think if there's anything about the nature of that. Because truth of the matter is, I don't think Wanderers knows anything about the history or the arcana of the area since he's like from the other place.
Sure.
So I'm doing a nature check to see if there's anything
I would say
about
you could make nature or religion either way.
Oh, religion. Let's go with religion. I'm seeking towards my goddess. Yes,
Yeah.
that's better. Thank you so much. So Wanderer sort of stops looking at the trees. He might turn in the midst of that and say, Ash, have you ever looked at a tree? And then he's going to like just go into a sort of a meditative moment after that. And he's going to just kind of reach out towards his goddess. And apparently she, more or less approves of him reaching out to her now in this new situation. I rolled a 15.
Okay. Sorry. I have to make this joke before the moment passes. You ever look at a tree? Okay, sorry. 15 on the religion check. So yeah, Wanderers, you sort of look at this thing and think about it. You can tell, like, it's a cruelly designed weapon. It's serrated. The serration on it makes it cause just like vicious bleeding wounds, and you can feel kind of like this hunger for blood in the blade. But I think what you sense in it is not so much evil as it is a relic of a time and place that was brutal. Like, this is a weapon made by someone living in a world that would require them to make a weapon like this, right? So it's not like possessed by an evil spirit. It's not like going to corrupt your friend, probably. You don't get that sort of sense from it. You get the sense that this is like a tool that was designed to meet the needs of a very sort of like brutal and desperate time and place. And so it's like a wicked implement, but not like malevolent, right? Like, and so thinking about what you know about Barovia, it's like, yeah, like that makes sense. Some dude who lived here would make a thing like this, like that kind of tracks. But you also, it's pretty ancient too. Like, this thing maybe predates Strahd. You don't really know, but like you can also just tell, like the blade itself is like, it's magical, right? But which normally magic stuff doesn't rust, but like this thing is kind of rusty, right? But that's part of the vibe, is like it's just like a real nasty piece of metal. But I think from that religious sense, like your goddess does not give you alarm bells of like, oh no, like this, thing is going to corrupt you, or anything like that.
Oh, Ash, this is a strong, yes. A weapon designed for a vicious time. Much as Pixel just told us, I couldn't possibly repeat all that.
Who's Pixel? What? You could just say you tell him what I told you. That's fine.
Yeah.
I wanted to do it my way.
Yeah.
I did it my way.
Good. Well, thank you for looking at it. I was a little uneasy.
It will not hurt you, but it is capable of vicious hurt. Handle it carefully, but we may need it.
That's what I was thinking. And then the only other thing that I'll ask about it, that way we're not like, good Lord.
Oh my God.
Oh, okay. Holy hell. Thank you so much for the gifted subs. I normally don't stop and call those out, but good God, Uncle Greg,
wow.
you absolute legend.
Animal.
I seen the wall and I was like, oh, whoa.
I got to hit this button a bunch of times.
The only thing that I will say is I kind of have an idea of what it does and who it was wielded by. Like, I already had a history and kind of knowledge about the weapon due to the vision, right? Did I understand that right?
Yeah, I believe you kind of know the name and you kind of understand like what its deal is a little bit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Well, I was just going to bring it up. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't like going to The possessed thing is the one I was worried about. So cool.
Yeah, right. So yeah, like you get the sense that like the spirit of the person who made this thing, like their hunger for battle and blood is imbued into the blade, but not in a way that it's like it's gonna take you over and make you kill your friends. It's more like this tool is eager to be used for the purpose it was designed, but not in like a malevolent way that it's gonna like take you over and do stuff, you know?
Sweet. Cool beans.
Okay. And with that, you arrive in the town of Vallaki. And I turn off the forest sounds, and I turn on the medieval city sounds. And, you arrive, and the wagon pulls up to the Blue Water Inn. You can see the city. Things feel tense here as you approach. When you first arrived in Vallaki, which was a big shift from the town of Barovia, which, if you remember, Barovia way back when you were all the way on the other side of the valley, was just dreary. Half the houses were completely dilapidated, and everyone scurried about. No one wanted to be outdoors. Here, people were moving about. Only about a third of the houses were dilapidated. And there was like a vibe that felt more like a town, but it almost had a little bit of like a manic feel to it, like people were... certain people were like aggressively cheerful, but like almost as if they were trying to convince themselves to be happy. That's gone, right? It's very tense here. The people, they're not like scurrying like afraid from door to door. It's just like there's a lot of like mistrust, paranoia. Nobody's sure, what's going on. The whole place feels like a powder keg as you guys pull up to the Blue Water Inn, and Adrian helps you unload the wine, and he gets back on his cart and wheels out of town, eager not to stay here any longer than he has to. And Erwin Martikov sort of comes out to help you load the, barrels into the tavern and says, "Oh, thank the gods. You are a sight for sore eyes, my friends." You remember Erwin Martikov is the gentleman who owns the tavern. He is a kind of slightly portly man. Let me find this guy. It's alphabetical, so he's at the bottom, right? No? Okay. Maybe the whole Martikov family is just... I'm trying to put him on screen so we all remember what this guy looks like. I think I can do that on the map screen. There it is. Yeah. Martikov family. There we go. So everybody remembers. He's a slightly portly fellow. He's kind of got this like black hair parted in the middle, and a beard. Both are streaked with white. And he's dressed rather finely for an innkeeper, you would know. And there's a very like raven feather theme, which you guys know are kind of about the keepers of the feather, which is their whole deal. So he helps you bring things in. What does anybody say to him as you guys are sort of reloading the wine into the tavern in like the back storeroom, which you guys haven't been into, I don't think.
Well, I think that Wanderers would tell him what we found at the winery and about the gems being taken and the druid. I mean, Wanderers would, and I'm assuming he would ask, wouldn't he?
Sure, yeah. I mean, he would ask like what happened. I didn't know if you wanted to role play this out, if you want to hand wave and say, well, we just tell him. Because like if you're eager to get back to the crossroads, we don't have to keep role playing out every scenario. But I also don't want to just like brush past you if you guys have something you want to do. You want to like ask him what's going on here, like any of that stuff. I kind of want to give you the opportunity to do that before we move on. Does that make sense?
Well, I think we also would ask him what's going on. Like we would tell him what we went through, but wouldn't we ask him what the story is there? We would want to know.
I don't know. Would you?
I mean, I would be.
I'm giving you the chance to do that if you want. Is what I'm saying.
I would be curious to like figure out. I guess kind of like what happened with like the whole vibe of the town, because it like kind of changed within like the few days that we
yeah.
weren't here.
Yeah.
So, like, granted, like we did kind of like leave them to deal with like mess that Strahd left, but still, like it just feels a lot more off than how we left it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I think given that like that's kind of, like I think we should roleplay that. So you guys are loading the barrels into the storeroom of the tavern. You don't have to recap everything if you just want to say we tell him everything. But the part where you're asking him about like what's going on here and he's telling you, I think we should get into that. So whoever would like to kick off that conversation, let's go for it.
Yes, I mean, we arrived in town and it just seems something may have occurred since we've been gone. Did something happen, or what happened?
Oh, well, things have been tense here. The first day was mostly a shock, I think. Everyone believed that the church was safe, that the town was safe, that Strahd did not come here. And obviously, that was not true. And so there is quite a bit of ill will towards the burgomaster at the moment. And he is attempting to maintain control of the town, but I don't honestly know how much longer he can hold on. The people believe he lied to them. He said that the festivals keep Strahd away. Lots of people didn't really believe that, but as long as Strahd was staying away, they said, well, I guess it can't hurt. But now that Strahd has shown up and killed a bunch of people in the church, people are afraid and angry, and they are blaming the burgomaster for not keeping them safe. Which, of course, I think we all know that safety in Barovia is children's wishes and illusion for the most part, yes?
I mean, you could have a 1,000-man army in this town and it wouldn't stop Strahd. It's not really his fault.
Nah. Well, I suppose yes and no. It's hard to say. He's certainly wasting a lot of town resources on throwing
sure.
big, lavish festival for a thing that doesn't actually keep Strahd away. So he's not without blame, but your point is taken. So people are angry, and the burgomaster is using the town guard to sort of keep them in line, but the chance is very good that won't last forever. There are more people here than guards. So if push comes to shove, the guard's going to get pushed, you know what I mean?
So are you saying it could potentially turn violent, or is there a chance he would just step down before it got to that point?
No, he is a prideful man. He will not step down. He could try lots of things, I suppose. He could try to find a scapegoat, blame someone else. I believe there are rumors in the town that the Wachters are in league with Strahd. He may try to blame them. We already know the coffin maker has fled town. He might try to blame them, but I don't know if this will appease the people either way. And depends on what happens, you know, if there is big enough gathering and guards try to break it up. Somebody get hurt, people get mad. Guards start getting killed, guards start killing people. People kill all the guards, people then burn Burgomaster house down and tie him and his family to stakes in the front yard and let dogs eat them. It's not necessary. It's could go really bad really quickly is what I say.
Well, just make sure you and your family stay safe.
How are things at the church? How are that young man and his sister that we brought to you?
They are sort of only... other than the wine, which is now here, he sort of like kisses and puts his hand up, which will certainly help to maybe placate some of the townsfolk. With us, well, let me put it this way: us not running out of wine, very good development. It certainly would have spiraled out of control if we did not get wine by, day after tomorrow or so. But the people at the church sort of like only hopeful ray on the horizon here in Villaki at the moment. Things are pretty good over there. Strahd has not shown back up. No more of his spawn have showed back up. And they and the little boy are sort of trying to help the people who need help over there. And so far it's going well.
I think you could find some leadership there because they are the children of the mayor of Barovia's little town.
Ah, no shit.
That little town.
I did not know that we had such this esteemed guests in our humble inn. Although I suppose you weren't telling everybody because then Strahd knows that she is here, and rumor has it that Strahd is a bit of a creep, yeah. It's specifically where it comes to that young lady.
Speaking of Strahd, this family you mentioned that there's rumors that they support Strahd.
Yes.
Is there any stock in those rumors? Have you heard anything?
Oh, well.
Or is it all just hearsay?
Well, and that is the nature of rumors. Certainly nobody openly supporting Strahd admits it. Sure. So only rumors is what you're going to get. I'll tell you this, she does not like the burgomaster. The Lady Fiona Wachter, I believe, is the matriarch of that particular noble family. And she really hates, nobody hates the burgomaster more than she does. And, I don't know for sure. Is this what she say in my bar? Because I don't know for sure if she does or doesn't league in with Strahd, but she did one time tell me she'd rather serve the devil than a madman. So that's that right there, not good sign. I tell you right off there.
But here's what I will say: if not liking the burgomaster means that you claim for Strahd, then half the town would probably claim for Strahd.
Right, no, but it's not liking burgomaster one thing. Saying directly to me, I'd rather serve the devil than a madman. I mean, I could be hyperbole, but she's not a joking woman. She lives in an old house in town. She rarely leaves her estate. Her two adult sons, Nikolai and Karl, they're here every night. They're kind of troublemakers. Rumor also says she has a mad daughter she keep locked up. I don't know much about that. But I also tell you that despite her open hatred of Burgomaster, who, let's be clear, don't often put up with people openly hating him, for some reason he don't confront her. I don't really know what that's about exactly. Maybe he's afraid of her.
So what you're telling me is if he tries to use this family as a scapegoat, it's not really anything lost to anybody important, right?
Probably not.
The only thing that I truly worry about in that is obviously innocent people dying over a half-crazed political leader in town. That worries me, but also how much blame can actually be left on the family of the burgomaster, right? Like they're going to tie up his children and burn them at the stake because he's an idiot.
To be clear, they're not burning them. Probably let the dogs eat them. They're not much for burning here. The town mostly made of wood that we cut from the Svalage woods. You remember the speech? So told me about it after the fact. The big speech he gave on top of the church, right? About how his woods. It's true. These houses are from his woods. And we burn them all. Poof, everything go up, right? So more
Forgive me for not being a
related.
Stickler for the details of the murder of the family. Anyway.
I love the hostility there.
Sorry. That obviously troubles me a lot that the town. I'm not saying that their anger isn't it's not exactly misplaced in the burgomaster, but the fact that there is a worry that the entire family will be butchered by canines, it doesn't really sit well with me.
Yeah, certainly whipping whole town up into mob, not great situation, right? So typically that don't end well.
Not only do you have this wine now, but more is to come, and it will be of fine quality because we have restored the vineyard.
Well, my own personal relationship to, I'm sure you have figured it out by now, my own personal relationship to winery, notwithstanding, this is some of the best news I've heard in quite some time. As I said before, I don't have much to offer you, but you can stay here for free and drink as much as you want while you are here, no charge.
Oh, hell yeah. Don't tell me that.
Ash about hits the floor. Just
You know, you have a lovely place here. It's kind of a little wooden and sort of bare. If you had some plants in here, it would probably really, like a pot with a plant in it on the end of the bar. It would probably really brighten the place up. People love plants. Flowers. Do you have any flowers?
But I do have to say, you have just told me a long story about twice in 2 days, huge massive plants try to kill you. Almost succeed several times.
Yeah, but those are bad plants.
They weren't flowers.
You just, like you ever hear of those fake plants, man?
only Wondrous has this whole altercation with evil plant monsters and comes out the other end worshiping a plant goddess. I love it.
I tell you what. We can have one plant in bar. But if you try to kill me, I'm coming for you.
Oh, I think you'll be fine. We're not going to make them be those blights. I was thinking, flowers. Do you have any flowers? Now that I think about it, I don't really remember seeing any flowers around here.
No, flowers usually need, sunlight to grow, right? And Barovia,
Yes.
little scarce on the shining visage of the Morning Lord, as it were.
Well, I just think that plants, living plants, they're healthy. They brighten up the world. I'll be on the lookout for you as we travel around and see what I can find.
Very well. But enough of tumultuous political situation here in Vallaki. What is next for our burgeoning band of heroes here, eh?
Ah, that's a question.
I feel like we can be honest with you. There's this crossroads that I'm very interested in going and checking out. We received a fortune from one of the feed me the line, the people.
Vistani.
We received a fortune from an old Vistani woman, and I feel like there's something at the crossroads that'll lead us to something potentially. There's a lot of variables in this equation that could help us take out Strahd.
Yeah. I don't really have a lot of experience with those folk. There's a camp in the woods southwest of town, but they aren't very friendly, and per the burgomaster, they are not welcome here in Vallaki. So.
Well, if the burgomaster isn't a fan of them, I'm already on their team.
Well, world is not filled with people who are a fan of burgomaster or evil.
That's fair.
Gradations of morality exist beyond the bounds of who is a dick to the mayor here.
Well, sometimes in order to have a friend, you have to be a friend. I heard that once. It's true, isn't it, Onyx?
It is, yes.
Nevertheless.
Very much.
But yeah, I mean, fortune telling, divination, important business. Maybe your fortune is right. Maybe this person tell you truly. I do not know.
Was you saying something about us? Well, I'm sorry.
Well, Wanderous is going to lean down to Onyx in a quiet or a moment when somebody else is talking and the barkeeper can't hear, and say, "Was I not supposed to tell about the brother and sister and the mayor? I forgot."
And I'll kind of do the same. I think we should be okay. He's seems to be somebody I think that we can trust.
Well, he's that bird thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
yes.
Bird person is here to
Nevertheless.
save you from Strahd.
Bird person. Oh god.
So, Onyx, have you paid attention to the fact that there's no flowers in this part of the world? I'm just amazed by that now that I think about it.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting, especially being in the woods with plenty of wildflowers.
Well, it's
I
because of
definitely think it's
Strahd.
odd. Yeah,
Hmm.
very well could be.
Yeah. Yes, something to think about.
And then whenever I get a chance, or like towards the end of the conversation, I do want to ask when if there is like a armory or something where I can get a set of leather armor.
Oh, this is a good question. Hang on. I'm sure there is somebody. But God has to look at his notes and then tell me.
Nevertheless, my good man, you have your wine. I have some business I would like to attend to before we go hunting for hypothetical Strahd killing weapons and potentially driven mad wizard man. Where can I find Yeska or Yesik? Which one is it? Yeska, right?
I believe it's Yeska, and I think that would be at the church.
Okay.
And I know there's a general store here. I have to find it.
Oh yeah, we got a bunch of stuff we could sell.
Time to fence this shit.
Okay, Airsex stock. Oh. Okay. Okay. That's fair. I'm gonna say it's probably the Arisex stockyard. 'Cause it has like a bunch of like sheds and stuff. Full in general store and facility. Yeah. Okay. Okay, hang on. Okay, yeah, I can do that. So we've got you guys are splitting up a little bit, or is everyone going together? Onyx wants to go looking for leather armor. The guy at the inn would tell you the Airsex Stockyard has a general store that might have something like that. Ash wants to go to the church and check in on the boy, Yeska. What about Cass and Wandress? What do you guys want to do?
Okay, so question, like me being a dwarf, would I be able to kind of appraise armor to an extent to see if like Onyx would be getting a good deal or not?
Yeah, so I would say you are a paladin. You're proficient with all types of armor and martial weapons. So yes, I would say you would have proficiency to, and being a dwarf, I think that makes sense. You would have the proficiency needed to like look at the gear and see like how it is. Like, is it good, bad,
Okay,
etc.
then I'll roll with Onyx.
Okay. What about Wandress?
Well, Wanders has a strange fascination now with all things growing, and I think he's a little interested in the land and the graveyard and the grassiness, if there is any, around the church. So I think he's going with Ash.
Okay. So, Ash and Wandress are headed to the church. I don't know why Ash is like 3 times the size of Wandress. That's funny. You guys can't see this, but it just
Because Wandress is looking down.
And then we have Cass and Onyx headed for the... Oh, I think I know why. I'll have to fix that later. Cass and Onyx are headed for the stockyard. So you guys are kind of headed 2 different ways, right? The church is in the west end of town, and the stockyard is in the east end of town. Because you guys are leading Onyx and Ash, I'd like you both to just roll a d20, and we'll start with whoever gets the higher number.
All right, I rolled a.
We got a 2. All right, VP.
Come on, that one.
We got a hot one coming in.
Okay, well, you know.
All right, well. Okay, so Ash and Wandress head over to the church. And you approach, and you see the church is kind of bustling. You can see it's been a couple days, but they've cleaned away most of the charred detritus and ash and nonsense that was left over. Scrubbed away the blood, although there are still some like faint reddish stains here and there. But they've tried to, clean the place up as best they can, and they're working on trying to like rebuild the roof and stuff. I think you approach and you see on the roof, sort of wielding a mallet and some pegs, trying to like put stuff together, sort of like wiping the sweat off his brow, is a shirtless man, long flowing blonde hair. This is Ismark Kolyanovich.
Oh God, we got some fan service happening right now.
Oh my God. Hey,
He's sort of like
picture of that?
sitting. Yeah, right. We need the fan art here, guys. He's sort of sitting on a beam, like straddling it, wipes the sweat off his brow and looks down at you guys and says, "Oh, hail and well met. Friends, I'm glad to see you've returned." I think that was his voice, wasn't it? It was like kind of British and slightly middle pitched.
Well, it's charming, so let's let it be his voice regardless.
I'm pretty sure it was his voice.
Working hard or hardly working?
Oh, I'm working up a sweat. Oh, do we need to roll for Ash?
Oh, it is a new day.
It is a new day.
It's a new dawn.
We need to roll for flavor here.
Son of a bitch.
I think you
Always
right-click the token and
That's
go to
right, that's
multi-sided and random sided, and it'll roll for you.
I can't see what that is. My
Looks
eyes are
like
really
you
bad.
are Mask Ash again today.
All right. Beautiful.
So, yeah. So, and yeah. So he wipes his brow, and says, "Well, how fared your adventure, friend?" You have a small child. 1 second. Wandress.
Oh, it was very successful. The wine is going to be much better now, and it's good. Have you ever looked at the graveyard here? It doesn't have a lot of grass growing, does it? It looks kind of just sort of dirt, and I think that Barovia is stunted growth plant-wise. What do you think?
Oh, yes, the sun hardly shines here, and so it is, unsurprising that, plants
know.
don't fare well, but
I'm going to
suppose
look
there
for
are-
plants. I'm going to look for plants in the woods that grow in and around in the shade of the woods. Maybe we just need plants to grow that don't get a lot of sunlight. It was very successful. We are going to have the vineyard be better. It's going to make better wine. Maybe that will be good for the people in the village. We were talking to the man in the tavern, and he said people are very unhappy. How is it going here?
well, things are tense, but I suppose for those of us working on the, building here, I suppose, well, like, actually, I can only speak for myself, but it does feel good to, take a stand and to, I don't know, get my hands dirty, feel like I'm doing something good in this world.
Well, I need to tell you something. I need to be honest with you. There's so much has been happening. I may have made a mistake. And in my exuberance of talking about how things were going with the innkeeper, I did let it slip, I guess, if they didn't know that you and your sister are of the family of the mayor from Barovia, the village.
Ah. Well, we've been staying at the inn some, and we've made our friendship with, The Marchikovs, I dare say they will keep our secret. I believe... I mean, we know their secret as well, so... I suppose there's sort of a mutually assured destruction situation.
Well, he certainly sounded as though he would keep it quiet. I just was carried away. Many things have been happening to me, a lot of changes. I look at things differently now than I did, and well, I just wish this land could be healed. And I think if it were, you would benefit from that too. I hope it works. I hope your sister is freed from being pursued by that awful Strahd, and that we could be healthier and stronger.
You know, for my whole life, Barovia has seemed like a stagnant pool, breeding disease, insects. Nothing ever changes, but for the worse. But, I dare say you and your friends have been a breath of fresh air. So...
Well, and you are doing a good work here. You are building.
Well, I owe it all to you. We never would have made it here if not for you and your companions escorting us. But I dare say it's not me sitting on top of it, straddling this beam, pounding pegs into the roof that you came here to see.
Everybody's going to pass out in chat. You better calm down.
Listen, I have one goal, and it is to cause people to pass out from blood loss every time. Every single time this man appears on the screen.
Can we get a Ismark on screen for the people to remind them of the
I feel like we need some kind of like Ismark as daddy emote. Anyway, maybe Ismark Daddyovich or something. I don't know.
Wow.
Anyway, Zaddy is a state of mind. So he gets back to work, and you all are free to enter the church and do what you will.
Yeah, I'm looking to see how it's going inside.
Sure. Inside, you see Irina working to help clean the inside of the church and rebuild. They're patching some of the windows that were broken, and at this point, they're basically just like putting wood over them because like they're not going to redo the stained glass right away. You know, it's kind of a complicated trade that it's not something you can just have a random person do, but they're kind of trying to patch up, clear the debris. You know, again, you do still see seeped into the wood the blood stains. So you can see on like a couple of them, they've started like sanding them down to get rid of it. So she sort of also is like wiping the sweat off her brow, and she's kind of like, I guess you see her sort of, nailing the board up over the window, and you see Yeska sort of in the corner, scrubbing away, probably like sanding down the floorboards. And he looks up and sees you, and his eyes kind of light up.
How's things going here?
He mimics. You can see that he's kind of like picking up the mannerisms of Ismark and Irina, who are sort of like the only adults who are really kind of consistently here, I guess. So he sort of like wipes the sweat off of his little forehead and goes, "Oh, things are going fine."
Well, good. No more excitement then.
Well, no, things have been pretty normal. Ooh, I learned a new spell.
Oh yeah? Lay it on me.
He sort of like snaps his fingers, and his little ball of sandpaper that he has in his hand just like lights up.
Excellent. That is awesome. You'll be full-fledged one of these days.
Right, I can still only do that's not the best spell I can cast, but I can do this all the time now. So he sort of like snaps his fingers, and it goes on and it goes off. Also, I learned how to snap my fingers. Irina taught me how.
Very important skill. I can't tell you how many times out in the big old worlds that snapping my fingers has been detrimental to my survival.
And he just like starts snapping both of his hands, and the light is just like, boom, 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 boom. It's like going on and off, like a kid playing with the light.
Okay. Anyway, well, good. I just wanted to come by and check on how everything was going. We can't stay long. We have some more business to attend to, and I wanted to let you know. Seems like you're in good hands here, but I may be away from town for a few more days. But I just wanted to check in before we left again.
Things are, no, it's going good here. Irina and Ismark are teaching me how to hit things. They call it self-defense, I guess. And, you know, with what happened to Milivoj, I'm not getting bullied anymore. So, but, you know, there are bigger people than Milivoj, and I guess they could still bully me, although so far they haven't, so I guess I do need to learn.
It's important to learn how to defend yourself. Just remember to never use that to hurt people littler than you.
Well, okay. What if, because, like, your friend very little, right? Even littler than me. But, like, he does magic. Very strong. Like, if someone like this attack me, is that okay? I just trying to understand. Do I have to let them hit me if they
Listen, this was
are
a
little but
throwback
powerful?
to the whole wondrous thing with the... Anyway, look. Yes, if somebody starts some shit with you, you should definitely not let them push you around.
Okay.
It was more like, don't use your newfound self-defense to hurt somebody for no reason.
Oh, so
Not that I
when you
think you
say
would do.
littler, you mean like weaker?
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Understood.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, this was my whole thing. I just wanted to check in. It was
Okay.
menial, but
Very good.
it felt like something I would do.
Yeah. And so you kind of have checked in, and we are going to zip on over to the stockyards. We kind of cut over there. We see Onyx and Cass enter. There's like this wrought iron gateway that is currently open because it's during business hours, and you see a number of like sort of like storage, you know, rooms and stalls and things like that. There is one general store here, and you push your way in to this kind of darker interior space. Shelves filled with like all kinds of stuff, you know, farming implements, knickknacks, food. But there is like a small section that has a little bit of gear and stuff like that. What are you looking for?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just look around and see if I can find just kind of like where like their armor is, or like other if see if they may have scrolls as well. I doubt it, but since it's a general store, but
Yeah.
I'll definitely look for armor for sure.
Okay. Yeah, you can. So you can find some armor in one corner. They don't have the greatest selection you can you know, on Earth. But they do have and you can tell like you could make the sizing work. They sell like both adult and children's armor. You suspect probably more for like young men who are training to be like a squire or something like that. You know, or
Yeah, makes
that
sense.
kind of thing. And yeah, so they have padded armor and leather armor. They have hide armor, and they have shields.
Okay.
They don't have any studded leather or
Gotcha.
anything, you know, chain
Anything
or
too crazy.
anything like that. Yeah.
Okay.
It's very simple stuff. The leather is made out of like wolf skin or something.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I think I'll take a look at the leather armor, and see if I find something that'll fit me.
Okay, yeah, you can find some leather armor that would fit you. and you can see the sort of price listed on it is 50 gold.
50 gold. Okay. Gotcha. I'll wave Cass over and be like, I found something that fits me, but I don't know if like I should get it or not. Like it's I'm not too keen on wearing armor typically, but during our last battle I feel like I probably should have something.
I mean, that's fair. Here, let me take a look at it. What would I need to roll for that?
Let's see. Let's pull you up here. Cass is also with your background. I guess you've spent enough time in these parts. Let's take a look. You do have a smith's tools proficiency, so I would just
Yeah.
roll your smith's tools with your wisdom modifier. I think that's right, because you're trying to kind of like
Yeah,
be
okay,
perceptive
yeah.
and notice, is there anything like, wrong with it? 17. Okay. Here's what you know. This is perfectly serviceable normal leather armor. It is insanely overpriced. It's like 5 times the normal price. But you also, I think, then look around, and basically everything in this store is like super expensive. And it's not like it's a fancy store. Like, this is the only store, but it's like, I don't think you guys went into a shop in Barovia, other than the tavern, right? But like, yeah, you're just looking at this and you're like, damn, like everything in here is like, these prices are jacked up.
Yeah. So, I mean, it looks, perfectly serviceable. I would try it on just to make sure it's a good fit. But I will say it's like pretty overpriced, but it kind of looks like everything around here is. So I don't really know how much you'd be
Gotcha.
able to, talk the guy down, but I can
Okay.
try it.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I guess yeah, let me try it on. I'll go ahead and put it on with Cass, just that way like she can make sure it's like it fits well and stuff. And
Yeah.
then if it from there, I think I'll just go ahead and see if I can negotiate a price with the shopkeep.
Okay.
I would maybe, say that we helped, quote, fight off Strahd from the church the other night. That might help.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so you head over to the general store. And you see sort of a middle-aged couple, 2 individuals. There's a woman sort of standing behind the counter, and then there's a man like kind of stocking the shelves. And you come up to the counter with your armor. What would you like to say?
Howdy there, sir. How are you doing?
The gentleman who is stocking the shelf sort of turns over and looks at you and says, hello. Welcome.
Hi there. I was wondering about getting this armor possibly. And I'll go ahead and set it up on
yes. Very good armor, yes.
Yeah, so I noticed it seems to be a little on the higher end for price, but I was wondering if you would be willing to give me a deal on that.
You say our price high. Where have you been shopping, eh? Lowest prices in all the Lucky.
I'm sure they may be the lowest prices in Velaki, but I can definitely take my business elsewhere. And I'll
No, it's all right. The funny part is we have what they call a monopoly.
yes, I'm sure. But I'll actually take my I might take my business elsewhere and see if I can find something else priced a little bit better. And I'll start to turn away.
Okay. Is this like are you
It'll be
is this
kind
like
of
a
like
deception or a persuasion? Like what are you trying
I
to
think
commit?
more of like a persuade. I guess, yeah, more.
This is like a negotiating
persuasion,
tactic.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I guess.
It's a little like on the fence
Yeah.
of persuasion or deception. So
Yeah, I
it's
can
up to
kind of see it
you.
going either way. You can roll either one, I think, because it's like I think to a certain
Okay.
extent, if you're negotiating, like you both know you don't really have another option, but you're like playing the game, right? So if you think you're like earnestly playing the game, I think that's probably persuasion. But if you
Gotcha,
want to,
okay.
if you'd prefer to roll deception, like whichever one you want, that's fine.
Yeah, either one. I'll do persuasion. So let's roll that. I got a 20.
Oh,
Dirty
wow.
20.
He sort of chuckles and says, "Hey, little purple man, you pretty good. All right, I give you 10 gold off."
No, thank you. I'm sure I can probably make my own. With my family, we used to tinker around with stuff. So I thank you though.
Okay. And is it still a tactic, or is this
Yeah,
like?
I think
okay.
it's still a tactic. Just
Yeah. All right. So you've hit a 20 on that. I'm gonna say on this. I feel like you haven't really done a counter offer. You're just saying you're gonna go somewhere else. So yeah, go ahead and make another persuasion.
Yeah.
I think on this you're gonna have to. The only way you're gonna get him lower than that is a
yeah.
nat 20.
Okay.
So
Gotcha. Which is definitely not bad. I got a 9.
Yeah, he says, no, yeah, you're pretty good, but you and I both know there's nowhere else to go. If you want to wander all the way over to Barovia, I promise you, price more expensive over there.
Okay. What about I give you 20 gold for this? And
Sorry,
I
go
did
ahead.
I did help fight off Strahd, so if he ever comes back, I may just have to keep my hands off if the next time.
Mm,
And you may no longer have a shop at that point. So
I see. You come in highway robbery. This is try to get me 20 gold. Mm, okay. Mentioning the fighting Strahd, I'm gonna say that would knock off 5 points. Implying that next time if you don't sell him this armor, you would let the whole town burn, I'm gonna say raises it by 2. So
Fair enough.
I'm gonna say that you're looking at a DC 17 persuasion check.
Okay.
And he'll knock off some. I don't think he'll go all the way to 20, but he'll knock off some more.
okay, let's see. Fingers crossed.
Oof.
Oof.
Oh, I want to burn transpiration. Oh, yeah. I'll burn it. I'll
No.
burn it. Oh, what were we gonna say?
I was gonna say Cass would just walk up and, pull out one of those gems that I've had for forever from out of my backpack, slap it on the table, and say, "How about 20 gold in one of these?"
Okay. And those gems were probably what, from the death house or something?
They were from somewhere.
Cass wasn't in the death house, so
Oh, so it would have been from the
they
from
were
the
from the windmill.
windmill. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from the windmill. Yeah.
Did I tell you to write down how much those things are worth by any chance?
50. So I figure,
Oh yeah. At that point, he as you slap that down and say that, he says, "Deal. You have deal. All right. Okay." He sort of like sweeps them into the bag, and writes you like a quick little receipt, and hands you. You want my wife to wrap it, or is gift, or is for you? It's probably for you. It's small. You're small, eh?
I'll take the gift wrapping.
Hey, all right. Hey, Yelena, we've got the gift wrapping. And she says, oh, get out of my way, you old goat. And sort of just like nudges him out of the way, starts wrapping it up. Sorry he's giving you a hard time. He's a bit of a... He's thick-headed. But,
No,
he's talented in other ways, I suppose. Anyway.
Oh my! Welcome to the Spicy versus Rod episode.
The Curse of Spice.
Yeah,
Spice's life.
we've got shirtless Zaddy Ismark and
listen, you've had
apparently the
a
talented
dry
shopkeeper.
couple of episodes, you know? All those plant creatures, all those weird half-undead druids busting out of the ground, you know?
You got to remember what we're fighting for, folks, and it's this right here.
Oh, just a bunch of horned up Velaki. Oh.
Listen, if you're locked in your house all day avoiding vampires, you should have nothing else
What
to
else
do.
you gonna do?
Listen, we've all experienced that during the pandemic. Like we know how they feel.
The sun don't shine, gotta stay warm somehow.
Anyway,
All right, now, unless you have other business here, get out of my shop.
Will do, sir.
So you guys exit the shop, and I'm going to say that you all return back to the Blue Water Inn together. That's like your meeting place. And what would you like to do next?
I think as I walk back with Cass, I'm just gonna profusely thank them for their help with that, because I know that wasn't a great deal on their part, but I can definitely help pay the back as needed on that. So
It's okay. I got a good laugh out of it watching you trying to barter.
Okie dokie. So, all right, yeah, you guys meet back up at the inn. It is, I'm going to say that probably took like an hour or two. No, you guys got there, so you haven't been to bed yet. That was like the end of it. So it's like, it took you most of the day to travel here from the winery. You've kind of done your business in town. So you arrive back at the inn. You are back in, it's sort of like when you first arrived at evening time. The tap room is full of people. Sort of the hustle and bustle. You don't see Rictavio anywhere. He fled town after the situation with Strahd, off to his tower to the west. And that is, but the other than that, the inn is as you first saw it. So
gotcha.
So what would you all like to do?
I don't think there's anything I would like to add. Little evening cap and off to bed, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Definitely for Wanderous, but Wanderous plans to spend some time before he goes to sleep in thoughtful meditation.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying earlier, I feel like Ash would probably make some notes of the adventures, maybe try to draw up some of those needle blights for illustration purposes, and that'd be it for them as well.
Okay. So Wanderous is meditating. Ash is drawing sketches of the shit that has tried to kill you in the last couple days. Cass and Onyx, what are you guys doing?
I think personally, I'm just gonna go ahead and look over my spell book and see if there's like any notes that might like help in possibly our adventure tomorrow. Seeing if there's anything like or any recommendations for any type of tips for spells.
Okay.
I'm gonna go back to writing in my journal.
Okay. All right, so yeah, we've got several studious members of the party sketching and writing and studying their spell books. Wandrous is sort of meditating and praying. And with that, you all spend your
Wanderous
evening.
wants to have
Okay,
Wanderous
sorry.
is planning a conversation in his meditation.
Okay, sure.
Okay, if we can just go through that lightly. Because Wanderous doesn't exactly know what's happening to him. Okay, so Wanderous is going to be going into meditation, reaching out to Salathiel,
Uh-huh.
and he's going to try to have a conversation, and we'll see what happens. So he's just like really trying to reach out with his mind, and he's going to say, I am looking down. I am seeing what you want me to see, I think. And it is wondrous. I see all of these amazing plants and trees and what it's like when they're stuck in the dirt on one end. The roots are down in the soil, and yet they're aimed upward toward the sky, and it doesn't look like it's full. It looks depressed. And yes, it does look diminished somehow from what it can be. And I feel differently about it. I feel like I want to take my hands and nurture. Oh, I did this thing with plant growth at the vineyard, and it felt so good. I held the dirt in my hands and I lifted it up, but it fell down. And I almost felt like when the earth that was in the air fell down to the ground, it was healthier. It had the air in it. It had my spell, yes, but it was enriched by that, and now it was going to continue on its own. I felt like I could heal. I could heal the earth and the plants. Is that what this is? Is that what I should aim for now? And if I can heal the plants and the earth, can I heal onyx? Ash? Can I heal creatures? Talk to me, please. Is this what you want?
Okay, make a religion check.
Well, I can't see what I rolled. I see the nat 20, but what was on the other side?
It was a
Five.
5.
Okay, I'm going with that.
Okay. You reach out, but it seems right now you do not receive a response.
Okay. Then Wander settles down to sleep, questioning as he rests.
Okay. Alrighty. And the next day rolls around here. And what is our plan, friends?
So I would like to say that Ash probably got up early to get in a little bit of weapon training with the new
Sure.
weapon.
Okay.
And if nobody joined him, I don't want to assume anything there, but I would just probably walk back in as they're getting up to ask this very same question.
I might join just with with training in my new armor. Just that way I can kind of like get used to it. So
Fair enough. So yeah, you and Ash head out. Ash, you see Onyx in some shining armor. Incidentally, Onyx, when you get around to it, why don't you shoot me a new Hero Forge with your shiny new leather armor. Not obviously not right now, but when you get a chance. Because I think it'd be fun to update the character art as you guys change. In fact, any of you that want to do that, if you have any changes in like what your characters are wearing or using weapon wise, feel free. provided that Hero Forge has stuff that will do that. Anyway, so you guys are training that morning, getting your exercise and your weapon stuff in. Is there anything you guys want to talk about or say, or are we just sort of like making sure that we know that's happening? That's just kind of for the purposes of explaining your characters changing in their, equipment and talents, if that makes sense.
I don't specifically have anything myself.
No, I don't really have anything.
Okay.
More for flavor.
Yeah, gotcha. All right, so if nobody else has anything that morning that they want to do, I'm assuming the plan is to head back to the crossroads. Yes. Okay.
Nobody objects. Like I said, very single-minded currently, so
Yeah.
I'm definitely down to go that way.
I mean, we have been putting this off for truly most of this campaign.
Yeah.
At this point, the long-awaited return to the crossroads. Okay, so I'm going to try and get through this as quickly as we can in the interest of time here. Every mile and a half on your trip, once you're outside of Valaki anyway, as you pass from outside the gates of Valaki, every mile and a half, you're going to have an encounter. So I will need the first random encounter roll. Somebody please roll me a d20.
I got it. Oh.
Nice.
Oh, no.
Something really interesting, just by the way. You guys remember how I've been having issues out of my roll 20?
Yeah.
How it's like it was really slow. You know what fixed it? Just in case anybody out there,
Even in your office?
I'm bringing this up for a reason. No, I had hardware acceleration turn off on my browser, and it made it run like poo poo. I turned it back on. It's like, pew. My dice rolls aren't lagging. So if anybody's having issues with your roll 20, turn your hardware accelerator back on in your browser tab.
Fascinating. Okay, here's the thing. On a nat 1, you actually don't get an encounter.
What? No way.
This is one of those rare instances. If you guys remember, basically, I'll tell you, you've done enough of these. You guys get an encounter on an 18 or a 19 during the day. So, that actually was the best possible roll, and you skate right along. I need the next roll.
Yeah, I can roll next. 14.
14. You are rounding, and you've been down this road before. You are coming around the bend where you can see the old windmill standing there, dilapidated, where you fought the trio of hags who turned out to be capitalists. Anyway, I need roll number 3.
Okay, I got it. 17.
Ooh, so close, but no
Yeah.
encounter.
All right.
I don't know how this table works, but it's really freaking me out. I can't figure it out.
You only get encounters on an 18 or 9, or on a 19 or 20. Is how it works. Or is it 18 through 20 or 19? I got to look at the adventure actually.
You said first time 18 and 19.
Yeah, it's something like 18 through 20 or 19 through. I'm going to look at the thing and see what it says. 18 or higher on a d20 during the day. So 18 through 20 will get you an encounter.
Interesting.
So 17 will not. Okay. Okay, I need the next roll. There's a bunch of these. It's a number of miles here. You'll have time to get there before nightfall, but ooh, there it is. And there's the 20. All right, VP, I need you to roll me a D12 and a D8 and add them together. Tell me what you get.
Oof.
Can I do D12 space D8?
Backslash R space 1D12 plus 1D8. And I don't think you would put any spaces in that, but I'm not 100% sure. Other than the space between the R and the first one.
And then 1D8 was the second one, right?
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure. Okay.
A 3.
Okay. If that's the number of enemies, we might be good.
Okay.
Listen, I wanted to just roll the 20 because I wanted to test out my new weapon, okay? That's why I did that.
Yep.
Sure. And we're glad you did.
Okay.
This will be what kills us all. Random road.
I would like to know what everyone's passive perception score.
Oh God.
As you come through this little copse of woods, approaching the western gates of Barovia.
Okay, I'm having to bring my. I had to refresh, so it.
Gotcha.
Can you see it quicker than I can?
Mine is
maybe.
12.
Mine
Okay.
is loading slow.
Wanderess's is probably the highest.
Yeah,
Wanderess's
for
is
me.
18. I don't know what
I can't
Ash's is. It's probably
remember.
pretty high.
I can't remember where you find it. Sorry.
Underneath your stats on the left side. Yours is 20. So,
okay, I see it now.
Wanderess and Ash, you see, just in the edge of the woods, a dark figure, crouched low and perfectly still, aiming a crossbow in your direction.
Get down! Watch out! I don't know.
Okay, so you instruct everyone to, like, hit the dirt.
Yeah, we about to get shot.
Okay, so the instant that Wander sees that and sees that crossbow, he is going to attempt to fire off that. Well, I'm not. I'm sorry. My computer. Maybe it's the motel. I don't know. It's going to take me a minute. There's a spell I want to look at to see if I want to do this or not.
Okay.
And it's going to take me a minute. It's not loading up like it should.
That's okay. I can get in there and
Wind
look.
wall is what I'm trying to look at. Would that blow away at him? Would that blow him back or put a
wind wall?
Ah, here it is. I always have it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I target the ground or a point I choose.
Okay,
Strong
so you
wind rises from the ground, make the wall up to 50 feet long, 15 feet high, and a foot thick. When the wall appears, each creature within its area must make a strength saving throw, bludgeoning damage. It keeps fog, smoke, and other gases at bay. What I was wondering is, would it also keep the arrow? Small or smalling flyer can't.
Yeah, I think it would block.
Yeah, fly upward. Yeah. It does work on arrows, bolts, and other ordinary projectiles. Yeah, that's what he's going to try to do, unless he has to roll initiative first or something.
I don't think you do have to roll initiative. Okay. Yeah, so go ahead.
The only thing that throws me about this, with this whole leveling up and all this stuff that it is that Wanderess doesn't know, is it says I need a tiny fan and a feather of exotic origin.
So that's if you those are the material components, but you can replace those components with a spellcasting focus. So technically you can cast all your cleric spells just using your
my shard.
Your shard, as long as the material components listed don't have a gold piece value associated with them. So if a spell says that it costs a 500 gold piece diamond, which spell consumes, you can't do that with just your focus. You need the diamond, right?
Okay, thank you. That answers that question for good and all. That is immediately what Wanderess would feel compelled to do, almost amazed at himself as he's able to do it.
Yeah, so you start to cast the spell, and you see this individual like tighten their grip on the crossbow. But as you release the spell and this wind wall just goes up between the two of you, it does create this sort of loud, whoosh, loud noise. You'll have to yell to speak to each other. But he does not immediately begin firing on you. And says, you hear a shout over the sound of the wind. Who goes there?
We are travelers. We merely wish to travel through and not be shot at.
Okay, make a persuasion check.
Okay. Okay, I can't see what I did.
You rolled an
18.
18.
I rolled an 18.
Yes.
I'll go with that.
Okay. Yeah, so you definitely, you're able to convince him. So you shout that, and he sort of carefully lowers the crossbow and sort of goes like a whistling sound and makes like a hand gesture. And another one of them sort of like carefully sneaks out of the woods. They're not pointing the crossbows at you. They do still have them kind of in their hands. And they say, sorry, we didn't mean to scare you. We are from Barovia. We are looking for someone missing from the village. You haven't seen anyone, have you?
How long ago? We just came from Valaki and are just on our way.
Oh, just last night. We leave from... you guys are about halfway to Barovia-ish. So they're like, we left very early this morning and have just arrived here.
We are inclined to help. We are just travelers. We have no ill intentions. Can you tell us more about this missing whoever?
Certainly. We are looking for Gilla Brandywood, sort of old halfling woman. Short, wavy brown hair, brown eyes, very pale. About 3'9", athletic.
No, we haven't seen anyone like that. And Wanderous looks over towards Ash and Onyx. I mean, Wanderous looks at the others to, for validation, and says, "We haven't seen anyone. We certainly hope she's all right."
Well, if we don't find her by tonight, she is probably dead.
Are you sure she came this way?
Nope, not even slightly. We are sure of nothing. But we have to look,
We were in Barovia several days ago and passed on to Valaki, and now we have to go back beyond your village for something. How are things in Barovia these days?
Same as always, I suppose.
Are the streets still filled with the sounds of wailing and crying?
Yeah, pretty much.
That is so unfortunate. And it's so gray and lifeless. It's a shame that... Well, you should look and see if there are any plants out here on the way. It might be that if you had more grass and trees, maybe things could grow and it might make it more pleasant there and people might be more satisfied, happier.
Listen, friend, I don't mean to contradict you, but I don't think Strahd is afraid of plants.
Oh, I'm sure he is not. I was thinking about just your overall health. We'll look for the lady as we travel and be happy to do that. I hope you find her. She doesn't seem, from your description, the sort that Strahd would want, perhaps.
Who can know? The mind of the devil.
Does she have family? Someone we could contact if we see anything?
Yes, she has she lives with her granddaughter. Her granddaughter is grown. She's an adult lady. Also halfling. In the town of Barovia.
Perhaps we'll see her on our way through. We'll take care. Happy hunting. And of course, they're talking over this wind very loudly.
Right.
I guess that Wanderous at that point is going to go ahead and drop the wind wall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you... Yeah, you drop the wind wall. They start heading on towards the direction of Loki. You guys kind of pass
Real
them.
quick.
Yes.
Did we get the name of this lady?
The woman they're looking for is Gilla Brandywood.
Okay, I thought I heard it, but I got distracted. Sorry.
Gilla Brandywood. Okay, and then with that, you carry on. You guys are really rolling all of the non-combat encounters whenever you get stuff.
Okay, we're going to call this the Wonder Wall. I think we should call it the Wondrous Wall. The
I like
Wind
that.
Wall should be the Wondrous Wall.
I agree.
Well done.
Oh, that kind of came out of chat.
That's funny. Okay. I need the next roll, please.
Okay.
I think it's back.
Oh, is it to you? Yeah, I don't know if you rolled, so you can go ahead.
I did the last one.
Dang it.
Ooh. Immediately again. All right. Cass, I need a D12 plus a D8.
So /R
Give me something
So
good this time.
12 plus.
Yeah, /R
8.
1D12 plus 1D8.
9.
Okay. All right. Hang on. I need a D100.
Oh, heavens.
Okay.
42.
Okay.
I really hope that's not the number of enemies.
Me too. Bugbears. 42 bugbears run out of the woods.
Also, I just heard a whippoorwill in this audio. I want you to know that.
Okay.
Did you ever hear a whippoorwill? Oh, Wandrous is going to be saying that from now on.
All right, 1 second. Okay. You find as you are kind of marching down the road, Cass, something catches your eye. Just off the path.
Okay.
Is a sort of fresh little it's sort of a sticky looking puddle of blood.
Is there anything else around it?
Yeah, if you want to take a look at it, you can see a trail that leads just off the pathway.
Hey guys, come look at this.
I'm gonna come take a look. This is like my thing. It's time to do that investigation thing.
Oh, dip.
Yeah, it is.
This is like
So
what I
just
do.
show it to everybody.
Okay, yeah, you see some blood splattered on the ground just away from the pathway. If you want to make an investigation or perception check, Ash.
I would love to.
Oh.
You know what? Listen. I have a really good roll on this, so I'm gonna burn Chad inspiration because
All right.
we can do better.
Let her
We
rip.
can do better. Okay, we can do better.
We can, but will we?
That's not what I need right now. I need some positive vibes. That's it.
Yes!
We can.
There it
Yes,
is.
we can.
27.
Can.
Okay, so Ash has spent inspiration.
27.
Yeah, you can see it's tough. You almost miss it the first time around, but you give it a second once over, and you can see further into the brush by the side of the woods or by the side of the road. And they give you it back immediately, of course.
That's right.
They
Come
got
on,
got those inspo fingers ready.
Ooh, I was typing and they beat me to it.
And yeah, you can see a trail that leads. You can see a trail of blood leading off of the path.
Okay. So as I'm kind of like knelt down, I feel like I'm like knelt down, kind of looking
Yeah.
off in the direction as I karate chop my microphone. Good lord. I call everybody over. It seems to lead off in this direction. Should we check it out?
What if it's the lady? I think
Yeah.
we should.
We
That's
probably
kind of what I'm
should.
worried about.
Yeah, I say
Okay.
we could check it out.
Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and take the lead on this. I know that's not rogue things, but considering I'm the one seeing the trail, I think it makes sense.
Are we going into a dark woods?
It's not really woods. This is like a little bit of shrubbery kind of by the side of the
okay.
road.
So I don't need to cast light or anything.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
But yeah, you head over there, and before long, Ash, you find the source of the blood. You find the corpse of an elderly halfling woman.
Damn it.
And when you arrive, what you find is a horror. You see that she has died from numerous massive bite wounds. Not like a vampire bite. You've seen a couple of those at this point. This is like huge chunks have been just eaten out of this woman. Her lower abdomen is just fully split open, and her guts have just been like, they're gone, basically, just totally missing. And you can see in her hand is a little box.
I would like to investigate the box.
You pick up the box. It is a small wooden box. And you open, and the box is filled with dead moths that have a skull-like pattern on their brittle wings.
Well, this doesn't seem good. I'm going to pass
That is
it up.
strange.
Yeah, pass it up to them so they can check it out. This is out of my wheelhouse. But I would like to be on the guard for whatever creatures may have done this. And I think Ash would say we can't just leave her here, can we?
Yeah, make a Ash. I mean, you. I don't know. Like, I guess investigation check is what we've probably been using for your like monstery stuff.
Should I cast detect magic on that? I think I can.
If you want, yeah, you could. I think
Well,
you
I
can
was
ritual
asking.
cast it.
I was actually asking
Oh, sorry.
the guys. Sorry.
No, that's all right.
Wanderers is going to ask
In
the
character.
guys.
It's 14 on that one. Is this for investigating the body?
Yes.
Do I burn inspiration on that?
Got a 14.
Could I offer the help action?
I would say Arcana could be helpful with this. So yes, you can offer the help action.
Okay.
So that just a reroll on my end, or he rolls?
Or do I roll
I'm gonna
Arcana?
do. Here's what I'm gonna do. It's the help action, but I'm gonna need Onyx to beat a DC 10 Arcana check before he can offer the help action, which will allow
Okay.
you to reroll.
Okay.
Cool.
Oh. That's still failing me now. Okay, 27 on that
27
Yeah.
Arcana check. Okay. So VP, go ahead and roll that investigation one more time as you two work together on this.
Don't fail. What the fuck?
Oh no!
No.
Oh, that's so sad.
Okay, so I really don't want to like get out of this, but to make this make sense, tell me this is at least something I've not seen yet to make it better.
I don't think you've seen it before. I will
Okay.
give you a little bit with that 27 Arcana. I think as you look at these bites, you have not seen that before, Ash. Onyx, I think what you can tell, because you do have some knowledge of wildlife and stuff, given your background, that the bites are like bigger than any predator that you know should live in these woods. Basically, it's like that. Like this looks like an animal did this, basically, but you're like, some of the teeth marks and stuff, you're like, that mouth is bigger than the head of anything I'm aware should probably live here. So I don't really know exactly what did this, but there's something's hinky in Barovia.
Okay. I'll go ahead and mention that to the party and be like, yeah, I honestly can't tell you exactly what this was, but it definitely wasn't something that should be here. Like,
Okay.
whether it be shapeshifter or just a random animal that's just happens to be here. I don't know, but
Okay, I think we need to get out of here, y'all. And do we need? I feel like we should grab the body. I don't feel like we should leave this poor old woman just laying here.
I mean, yeah, we would have to
yeah.
probably go all the way back to Barovia, though.
I mean, we're going to a graveyard. That's all I'm saying. You know, that's
Yeah,
like kind
but
of where
the
we're
things
going.
that go in that graveyard do not stay in that
Oh,
graveyard.
fair.
Okay,
Well, I do
have a-
actually, to be clear, you saw the people in the graveyard of the village of Barovia get up and go around. You're not really sure what happens to the people who stay in the who are in the graveyard at that crossroads because you can't really see the crossroads from Barovia. They could get up and move. They could not get up and move. Question.
Okay, well, I think that.
No, I don't.
I
You know, I'm
think
not
that-
telling Wanderers what to think, but I am just clarifying that.
Well, we'll just cancel all that. Wanderers is going to whip out his bedroll, wrap the body up in it, and put it over his shoulder and say, let's go on to Barovia.
Okay.
Are we closer to Barovia now than Wallachia?
Yeah, you're pretty much.
And the
I
woman
think you're
is
on this
from
side.
Barovia.
That was your understanding. If this is in
So-
fact the missing woman, which it seems
And
like.
we need to warn the people in
Okay.
Barovia that something hideous is out here.
Yeah. So here's my question. When you get to the bridge that's coming up, are you guys going by way of the Vistani camp where you went before? Or are you going kind of the long way around and skipping the camp?
Well, I think if the camp is close, is the camp close?
The camp is closer than... The camp is kind of like a shortcut, although the path isn't as well cut. And you know most of the Barovians avoid it because they don't like going near the Vistani camp, but you guys didn't really have any, problems with them.
Wanderers' vote would be to go straight to the Vistani camp, tell them about this hideous thing, and to warn them if they're close and to see if they would be on their guard against it.
It does seem like a way shorter way, and since we're not in bad standing with them, I think that it's a perfectly fine idea to go that way.
Okay. All right. You are making your way downtown, walking fast. Okay, I need another encounter roll from whoever's next.
Okay,
Yeah, I
who
think,
did it first?
I think it was Ozzy first, so I'm gonna go ahead and roll one.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. Who redeemed that inspiration? Was that for? Did Ash spend it and then get it redeemed again?
Oh, you know what? I did it.
Okay.
Is
I
that
think-
mine? Did that come
Yeah,
from
you
me?
probably
Yeah.
had it like queued up, typed,
Because
and then it's
because
okay,
I
somebody
had over
refund that.
4,000.
Oh,
I
okay.
intended
Got
it
it.
That's
for
okay.
Ash.
Thank you.
I
Can
intended
I
it
just
for
say this?
Ash.
One thing, I wish I could easily do mod stuff from my stream manager, but I can't seem to, and I don't really get it.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's like
Okay,
I could
that-
go to the mod manager, but that thing is a pain in
Yeah,
the
it's
ass.
strange.
Anyway, Twitch, what are you doing? Why can't as the person running the stream in the stream manager? Why can I not access the mod version of chat? Anyway, okay, we got an 8 on the d20,
Yeah.
and that is your last one before the Vistani camp. So
And
you
did Ash get that inspiration?
I refunded yours.
yeah.
Synapsis had already granted me inspiration back.
Oh, okay. I must
so I was
have
in
to
good shape.
refresh because I don't see it back.
Okay,
Okay.
I would try. Well,
I mean,
let me
I think I
double-check
have
that.
it on his thing here. Anyway,
Okay, there it is. That I think we did that time.
oh, your points back. Okay. All right. Yeah. So you guys roll back up into this Vistani camp. It is the way that you had left it previously.
Do they have like a guard set up, or we just like walk right up in here?
Hang on. Oh, that's not helpful at all. Okay. Yeah. So the road kind of gradually disappears and is replaced by this twisty, muddy path through these trees. Deep ruts in the earth are evidence of the comings and goings of wagons. The canopy of mist and branches suddenly gives way to black clouds boiling far above, but there is a clearing here, next to a river that widens to form a small lake several hundred feet across. 5 colorful round tents, each 10 feet in diameter, are pitched outside the ring of 4 barrel-topped wagons. A much larger tent stands near the shore of the lake, its sagging form lit from within. Near this tent, 8 unbridled horses drink from the river. And you can see, as you remember before, there are several brightly clad figures around the bonfire. As the footpath continues beyond the encampment, meandering back to the southeast towards the forest's edge. You can see that there are a number of people, as you remember. There's not really guards. They are kind of drinking and telling stories by the campfire, and they see you come back in. And one of them turns and says, hello there. Welcome back.
Hello. How fare ye? Everybody doing okay?
Oh, we're having quite the time here. What brings you to our happy little camp?
We are just passing back through to get to this crossroads. We did want to warn you as well. Another reason we decided to come this way. There's been an unfortunate accident about a mile. How far is that? Where we found this body?
You guys were actually about 2 miles from here.
Okay.
When
A
you
couple
found that, I
miles
think.
back, we found this body, and there seems to be some rather large creature on the loose in these woods, and we wanted to make sure we came through and gave you guys a warning since you were so hospitable to us last time we were here.
Oh,
It's
of
very
course.
close to your camp.
Yeah, and you see you were talking to a sort of young-ish male rock gnome. He has kind of long, straight, blonde hair. He's a little bit... skin is quite pink. A little bit rotund, about 4 foot tall. And he says, oh, that's a shame. You never know what's lurking in these woods. Dangerous, creepy crawlies about.
Yeah. This thing is rather large, so I would just keep an eye out. Also, there are some Barovian scouts out looking for this lady, so if they come this way, what is our plan? Is our plan to bring her all the way back to Barovia?
Well, don't we have to go past Barovia to get to the...
We don't.
No,
I think
you
we're
don't.
coming up on the
Although I
fences.
will say this, so you would have left in the morning, right?
Yeah.
Hang on, I got to do some math here.
Okay.
Because what I'm getting at is you probably, you're not going to be able to get all the way back to Vallaki before nightfall. You might have to stay in Barovia. Like, those are your options, are to go on to the town of Barovia and stay there and come back to Vallaki tomorrow and then on to whatever else you plan to do, or, whatever. Or to turn around and go back. But this place is, hang on. I'll tell you here in a second. Yeah, it's 12 miles back to Barovia, and you can go 20 miles a day, right? So it's if you want to travel a couple of hours after dark, you could get back to Vallaki tonight, but you'd have to travel after dark. So, or you could just go back to the town of Barovia, which is much closer, and then try to get to Vallaki tomorrow. Which you
Guess
could
we can
make
see.
that whole trip. It's the going and coming back that's making it long enough that it'll take you into the night. So
Maybe we'll get
Ash.
lucky.
Did Ash want to ask the gypsy lady something?
You know, I recall wanting to ask her something again, and I can't remember what it was.
Well, you do recall that there were a couple of the readings that you guys got that the cards did not tell you anything. Let me see if I can find the
Yeah, I don't
reading.
have my notes.
So I think I did want to ask about Thorn again. I remember asking about that and that being specifically something to me that was unclear. Was there something that Onyx had asked that was unclear?
Okay, the Fortunes of Ravenloft. There were 3 cards that told you what was like going on, but the 4th and 5th card both didn't give you any information really. That the mists obscured all basically. Yeah, somebody's got it. Okay. But she did tell you could come back later and try to ask again. In like a week or so, and she would try and do another reading to see if the cards turned up anything different. So.
I mean, we could swing by and chat with her real quick. Obviously, we're following the lead from the first card now, right? That's kind of what we're after.
Right.
I don't think that we've hit any of this other stuff, and this is also, I guess, Ash putting 100% faith in fortune telling currently. Which, you know what? To be fair, that doesn't seem too far fetched in a world where we just fought off a bunch of twig monsters and there's a vampire trying to kill us all. All right. So to be fair, that doesn't seem too far fetched. I'm definitely down to go ask again. 1,000%. The only thing with the body, if we're gonna stay in Barovia, we could like break back into the Mardikov's house, right? Just like stay there.
Maybe.
No.
The Burgomaster's house?
Oh, I guess.
Right, because the Mardikovs are the winery people, the keepers of the feather.
Sorry.
The Kolyanovich, the old Burgomaster.
There you go.
Is the manor
I would like
house.
to point that. What are the chances he's going to look for her that he knows she ain't there? You know what I'm saying?
What about
hide in plain sight? You know what I'm saying?
What about we just go stay in the death house?
Y'all burned that thing
idea.
down. What are you talking about? Or it burned itself down.
Anyway.
Oh, when we go back there, it's probably going to be right back where it was.
Yeah, probably. What do you guys think?
How would that happen?
Okay,
It's been
I've
burned
gotten
down. I don't know what you're talking
geographically
about.
confused.
Okay.
So between us, where we are right now,
Yeah.
at the Gypsy Pant, and the little town of Barovia this dead body came from, the crossroads is between us and there.
Crossroads is
where this
right
F is
here.
at.
Yeah, where the F
Yep.
is at.
Okay, wait
Where
a minute.
the roads cross. It's basically the crossroads is between the path that comes to the Vistani camp and the path that goes around the Vistani camp, right? And so that's where the road splits. That's where the crossroads is. Right there.
Okay, I vote we talk to the gypsy lady and go to the crossroads and talk to these people about can we spend the night in the safety of their camp.
That also works. And then we can see about getting this lady home one way or the other. Surely those scouts will be coming back this way, right? I kind of don't want to go back to Barovia either. Okay, I guess we're going to go talk to the lady.
Okay. You're going to see Madam something or other. What? Oh, God, this is embarrassing.
Yeah, me too. I have no idea.
Madam Eva. I knew there was a V in there somewhere. I'm going to see Madam Eva. Well, good luck in there. Yeah, so who's going into the tent?
Okay. Wanders is not. Wanders has another question for this man.
Okay, so Wandress is not.
I mean, I 100% am. Again,
Ash is going
fixated.
in.
I probably won't, just because I don't believe in like the whole fortune thing as much. And there's another rock gnome here anyway, so I'm just gonna chill.
Cass will go with
Peeps.
Ash.
Okay. So Cass and Ash go into the tent, and Onyx and Wondrous stay out to speak with the others. Cass and Ash, you make
Listen,
your
I'm
way
just out here trying to find
into
out
the
if
tent.
Mercury is in Gatorade. Okay, that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, it turns out that Mountain Dew is in Gatorade, and that's Baja Blast. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Anyway, yeah, so you enter the tent. You see the old woman. Do I have a handout for her? It would be good if we had a handout for her. I have a
remember.
stat block for her, apparently.
Strahd, Bloodblade,
Oh,
Mace
damn.
Disruption, Child's Dream, Arena, Ismark, Markov, Milovish.
I don't have a maybe, unless there's no. Nope, there's no handout for her. I guess I'll just describe what this little picture looks like here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so you go in, you see this sort of old crone woman. She has kind of like bells and jangling things. She's wearing like a shawl over her hair. She has kind of like a somewhat creepy grin as you enter. And she says, hello, dearies. I don't know if that's the voice I gave her, but that's the voice she has now. It's been 20 episodes since we saw, 15 episodes since we saw this lady. Come back, have you?
Yeah, it's good to see you again. We're actually trying to follow up on our reading from last time, finally getting around to it.
Questions you want answered? Yes. We can
Yeah.
do this.
There was a couple of things that were unclear last time, and, you know, I definitely would like to see if we can get a better read on that. You did say to come back, so hopefully that's okay.
Well. Very well. And she starts sort of shuffling her cards. And, I'm gonna say, that the 3 cards that had answers before, came up the same. And we all know that I'm just saying that, but in the magic of this world, when she draws those first 3 cards, they're the same. Don't ask me questions about it. But she is going to redraw the high cards. So, let's see what she does. Okay. What? I don't care. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, ignore those.
Yeah, I have a bunch of cards on my screen.
Yeah, ignore those. Did it? Oh man, this is funny. So
This is exactly the same.
for the 4th, actually, no, that was backwards. For the 4th card, no, the Horseman is different. I think it was so the 4th
That
card
one's
we got the
different.
Mists, and the 5th card we got Horseman because that's what I drew. Okay, so we're gonna look at these things. I want. Now this is in the 4th card spot, correct? Come on, give me the thing. Son of a bitch. Interesting. Is the same card, but this time in a different placement. It means something else. Let's go back over here. She said, so this card sheds light on one who will help you greatly in the battle against dark. Evistana wanders this lands alone, searching for her mentor. She does not stay in one place for long. But you may seek her out at Saint Markovia's Abbey, near the mists. And then number 5, your enemy is a creature of darkness, whose powers are beyond mortality. This card will lead you to him. He lurks in the one place to which he must return. A place of death. Now, you have other questions for me, no?
Real quick, out of game. Saint Markovia. We've heard of this place previously, right? And not from her.
Yes, the Abbey of St. Markovia, you believe, is in the village of Kretsk, which
is further west, right?
Further west,
Further
past
west.
Vlaki. It's the other place that if they hadn't decided to stay in Vlaki, this is the other place that Ismark and Arena maybe thought that Arena would be safe.
Okay. I actually have two questions specifically. I don't know if Cass has any. I was going to ask that first before I got into mine. That way I'm not taking up the whole thing. Okay, I'm going to ask my questions then.
Okay.
Speaking of the mists, on our travels, we've seen an entire city shrouded in the mist, kind of far off. Do you know anything about that?
Ah, the artifact, she says. This is a curious card. I do not know of which you seek. But the card tells me one who does. Look for an entertaining man with a monkey. This man is more than what he seems.
Okay. And my last question is the last question I asked you before we parted last time. Is there anything I can do to help save Thorin from his fate?
Hang on 1 second. I want to make a note of what I had to just say there. So that I know. Okay. Okay. To help your brother. Most curious. Once again, I myself do not know. But I perhaps see through the darkness a little hope for you. But it is accompanied by horror. I see a man made by a man. Ageless and alone, it haunts the horror of it. Riding amongst the towers. Perhaps he will have the answers you seek.
So many people. Okay, I thank you so much for your time again. This, I believe, has been extremely enlightening, and hopefully we'll get us closer to our end goal. I can't remember. Does she charge for these?
I can't remember either. Let's find out.
Shouldn't have even asked.
Right? She says, I do not charge for my services. Your fate is what it is. I merely reveal that which is held in store. Sometimes the knowledge itself is price enough to pay.
Yeah, that's comforting. Good lord, I was gonna leave her with one of these treasures, but they're like 25 gold apiece. I don't even think so. I think that I will offer up a 3 gold for her time and help, if she will accept.
Yeah, she smoothly pulls the gold off the table with a practiced gesture and says, unless you have other questions? Sort of looking at Cass for a second. Going once, going twice. I know Cass said that he has company, so
No, I don't have any questions. Sorry, I had to
That's
unmute.
if you have no questions, then be gone! And she sort of shoos you out of her house, out of her tent.
Okay, bye.
But I think as they're walking out, Cass would look at Ash and ask, "So, what's the deal with Thorin? I thought he had passed on."
So I'm trying to think of what all I actually know, because I think that there was like some alluding to the fact that he was going to be trapped in Barovia, basically, and like Barovia's afterlife, which is real bad.
Right. Yeah, so you, if I'm remembering this correctly, right? Thorin was the one who sort of was unconscious. His spirit was in between the planes in the sort of ethereal area. He saw what was going on with the kids and the dark powers and the angel, and he elected to fire a spell off at the dark powers, allowing the angel to free the kids at the cost of the angels, at the dark powers consuming him. Now, Ash, when contacted in the brief sort of slowing of time before things kicked off again, I believe Thorin basically said that he was going to help get the kids out, but he was going to be, I don't know. I don't know if he implied he was going to be stuck here. I think he basically just said that he wasn't going to be coming back, but that there was no saving him. Is that right? Am I remembering that correctly, guys?
Yeah, that part sounds right for sure.
I think somewhere, like maybe from the priest that said I would be stuck here, or Thorin would be stuck there.
And I do know that Ash,
Somehow
you have seen
Ash found out about
Thorin.
that.
Yeah, and Ash, you've seen Thorin pop up a couple times, right? You saw Thorin swinging at the gallows. And you also, when you guys burned Thorin, and like the next night that you slept, I think, or maybe I think it was when you went to grab Thorin's ashes and put a little bit of them into like a glass bottle, you had this vision of Thorin being like dragged beneath the, the water into this deep darkness that you couldn't reach. So you have a sense that something's going on there, yeah.
Yeah. With all this, and then like just the general over Barovian, there's ghosts freaking walking up to the castle every night. We have a pretty good suspicion that if you die here, you get trapped here. And even in just the fact of the contact with Thorin being like, the kids are going to be stuck here, even if, even though we did all that, I feel like that would be reason enough for me to ask the question, right? I feel like that's a fair assumption to have made.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure works for me. Yeah, so I think Ash would say, when people pass away in Barovia, I feel like we've learned that they don't always make it out. They don't get to pass on to a better place. I think that sometimes they get stuck here. When we were in the death house, my brother sacrificed himself to save the spirits of the 2 children that lived there. And I want to make sure that I've done everything I can to make sure he receives peace for the sacrifice that he made.
Sounds like a terrible fate.
Well, hopefully the information I just received will help me reverse it, whatever it is.
Hopefully so.
Okay. And then Onyx and Wandress are back outside at the camp with the gnome Vistana individual. And what you plan to ask him a question?
Yes, very simple. Wanderers was just going to ask if anyone would have additional coverings that I could wrap the body up more securely, because all I had was my one bedroll to try to secure it. I'm sure it's,
Yeah.
in bad shape. And so if there was anybody, so that was all. It's just would anyone
Sure.
here have some blankets, and then Wanderers would have, given them some copper pieces or something, whatever, and just tried to get the body more secure so that maybe he could even tie it up somehow and hang it over his back and whatever to make it so that for the rest of the trip, Wanderers is not carrying a body in his arms, but maybe has it slung across his back or something.
Sure. Right. Certainly. There's plenty of canvas round here. I think I'm all over the place with this guy's accent, but who cares, right? We can certainly find you something. My name isn't Panazivik Aldry Fargrim Umup.
And it's a pleasure to meet you, sir. Lovely place that you have here. It's unfortunate that the grass is so downtrodden. If you really would plow up this dirt a little bit around the paths, get some air in there, some water, it might grow for you a little better.
Well, unless it's growing grapes for making wine, we haven't much interest in the botanical arts,
Well, but it doesn't hurt to beautify the area in which you live. Plus, it's good for the land. It's healthy. It rejuvenates it and brings it back to life.
You know what rejuvenates me is more wine. And he sort of puts his hand out. Somebody puts a bottle in it, and he just
Okay, well, Wanderous leaves him and hopefully finds somebody can cough up some copper or gold or whatever, sure. A silver piece or two, whatever you say, and it's going to make a way to carry this body, not in his arms.
Yeah, let's take a look. Yeah, I'm going to say that's going to end up costing you, because it is woven, but it is canvas, it's going to be 3 silver for that.
3 silver, got it.
Yep.
And that's what he's going to do. He's just going to arrange it again so that if we go into battle, I'm not carrying a body in my arms.
Yeah. Okay. And long about that time, you all are done with your reading, and you come back out. And are you heading on to... and I guess, did you ask them about staying? Was that part of the thing, too?
Oh, yeah, that would be a good thing for Wanderers to do. Wanderers would have asked that same guy, if we wish to stay for the evening, can arrangements be made?
No. There's none only in here, unless you'd like to join.
Not even if we paid our way. A little gold will buy additional wine.
Listen, he sort of leans in close.
For a night?
There's powers here in Barovia at work. And, we aren't able to offer hospitality to any but our own. Them's the rules, love.
Yes. Well, thank you anyway. I'm going to look over to Onyx and say, we need to move on. Where's Ash?
Yeah, no, I'll glance back at the tent that Ash was in and be like, I think they might be finishing up here soon, hopefully. It took about the same amount of time to get the reading as last time. Hopefully they'll be out soon.
God, sorry, my phone is blowing up for some reason.
As soon as Wanderer sees Cass and Ash, he's going to head for him and say, we cannot stay here. They won't let us stay tonight. We need to go.
Okay, on to the crossroad.
I
to the
fear
next game.
so.
Okay. All right, friends. On to the crossroads. As you approach the crossroads, I need one final roll.
Turn is it?
It could be mine.
Let's see.
Let me get in
Yeah,
there.
I think it is yours.
Yeah, I think so too. I rolled a 12. Well, Wanderous rolled a 12.
Alrighty, and with a 12, you arrive at the crossroads.
Okay, so if
Wanderous plans.
Go ahead.
Wanderous is going to stay back a bit. That's all I was going to say. And probably with his quarterstaff. Maybe a quarterstaff two-handed.
Yeah, so you all approach once again the crossroads. You do see an old wooden gallows creaking in a chill wind that begins to blow down behind you from the high mountain to the west. You see a frayed length of rope whipping in the wind, dancing from the beam. The well-known road sort of converges here. You can see the signpost opposite the gallows points off in 3 directions. Barovia Village ahead of you to the east, Sayre Pool to the northwest, and Ravenloft/Valaki are both listed to the southwest. The northwest fork that you have just come from is sort of slants down, so you've been coming uphill from the trees. The southwest fork clings to kind of the upward slope of the foothill of the mountain to the southwest. And then across from the gallows, a low wall, crumbling in places, partially encloses a small plot of graves, shrouded in.
Okay, so the card that was drawn said, "What you seek lies at the crossroad of life and death among the buried dead." So I think that Ash would probably climb over the wall and start seeing if there's anything interesting on the gravestones, maybe. Presumably there's nothing going on with the gallows itself.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so you head over to the little graveyard. There are 11 blank gravestones. Over 11 graves. What would you like to do?
Well, there doesn't seem to be anything interesting. I mean, do I need to investigate to see if there's anything
Yeah,
going
sure.
on?
Go ahead and start with an investigation check.
Okay. Let's do a 28.
28. You look around very carefully, everywhere that you can, and don't find anything, coming to the conclusion that if there is anything here, it's probably buried.
God dang it.
It's only one. Well, there's only. Let's put it this way. There's only 11 places you haven't looked.
Am I really about to deface all these graves? Of course I am. We've got knowledge to seek, babies.
Oh.
We're just going to pick a random one and go to dig them, bub.
Right. You pick a random one and begin a digging. Give me a D100 roll.
Come on, baby. Let it be the first one. I really don't want to dig all these up. We got an 89.
You needed a 90.
No way!
There was a 10% chance. Oh, so you dig into the earth. You find below you a rotting coffin containing moldy bone. And then nothing else.
This really did turn into an episode of Supernatural all of a sudden, I swear to God.
If Wanderous cast detect magic, could that help?
I believe the read the text. Well, let's get the text of. I can. You don't have to read it. I can put it in here. The text of
Thank
detect
you.
magic. I believe it has to be like within eyesight and not hidden behind certain amounts of stuff. But let's read what it actually says.
Yeah, no, that is what it says. That's
it
right.
says
3 feet of wood.
any
or dirt.
visible creature or object penetrate most barriers blocked by a foot of stone, an inch of common metal, thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood or dirt. I think 3 feet of dirt here. These are buried normally bodies, so they're at least 3 feet down.
Okay, seeing his disappointment, Wanderous is going to hike the body up a little bit higher, and he wants to try one for him.
Sure. Wanderous, if you want to roll a D100. Now you need 80 to 100. It's like an increasing 10% chance every one of these that you dig.
If I'm able to dig another one while Wander starts, that'd be great too.
Sure. I mean, it's just, we'll just keep rolling them until you guys, if you plan to get there, we'll see how many you got to dig through. Because it also matters how much time it takes you to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay. So I'm just having a problem here with the computer.
So, do you want someone? Yeah. Why don't we just have Ash do it again?
Wait, it's R backslash
R space one
backslash R
space 1D100 or /. I actually don't know which. It's the one on the question mark.
1D100.
Wonderful. 100. Yeah. So, Wondrous, as you dig down into the earth quite quickly, your strong, powerful build allowing you to dig. You crunch into one of these molding coffins and split it open, revealing the corpse within. Ash. Here once again, as the coffin splits open, you see a dwarven body. Thorin once again. Buried here in the ground. This time decomposed. Black sludge seeping out of his eyes and the corner of his mouth. He raises a hand towards you.
Is there like a die check I can do for like? I feel like we've seen this enough that it's not that it won't affect me emotionally, but like, do I keep my composure? Am I like, okay, this is a trick?
Sure. I'm going to say it's either like wisdom or constitution, whichever you think makes more sense for you. And just roll a saving throw, I'm going to say.
Okay, let's do wisdom, which is the little box, right?
Okay.
13.
So he reaches out for you, and you are prepared for that. What you're not prepared for, standing behind you, a voice. Your father. Well, Ash, aren't you going to help him? Your brother needs you. He's right there.
I will help him. If it's the last thing I do, I will help him.
I told you boys you had to look after each other. When you left on your cockamamie schemes, I told you boys, you have to look after each other.
It wasn't my fault. It was the house. It was trying to kill us.
I told you boys. And then, he's gone on the wind. Wanderous asks, do we hear this? No, Wanderous, when you crack into this thing, you see a moldering body of a long dead human, and you see a book. It is a ancient, musty tome. It is brown leather. Sorry, let me just describe it for you. It is brown leather bound with sort of this iron wrought filigree. It has a crest on the front of the book that appears to be some sort of eagle or bird of prey. What would you like to do?
Wanderous is going to say, oh, look, Ash, There's a book there. Should we get it? And he's going to look over towards Ash.
Okay. And I think the thing that happens to Ash is just like happens so quickly in your head that by the time Wandrous is speaking to you, you are snapping back out of it.
Okay. I feel like Ash would probably like kind of shake their head and kind of like discreetly kind of wop at the side of their face and walk over and take a look.
Wanders is a little leery to reach down in there and grab the book, but he's curious. I think he takes the quarterstaff, whatever he was digging with, whatever we had for that, and he's going to touch the book to see if anything happens.
Wandrous reaches down, touch the book, and your fingers touch. And it has been touched.
And it has been touched, and that's it.
Yeah, so you reach out to touch the book, and despite my creepy narration, nothing happens.
Wander says, I want to pick this up. He brings his hand back, but I'm afraid that it'll trigger something. I don't think my quarterstaff will pick it up.
I mean, listen.
Out of game, I technically have Mage Hand, so I could theoretically just grab it since it's there. But it's only if you want me to interject on this. But
Well, where
All
are
means.
you? What would you be doing?
I mean, I feel like this would kind of be like a group effort, like trying to like figure out what's going on. So I'd probably just be there with you guys, and like trying to see what I could do. But like I wouldn't really know, I guess, like if there was a book in that grave, because I probably wouldn't be looking directly into it. So
Well, and I don't know that Wanders knows what all your spells are.
yeah, for sure.
Wanders is looking at Ash. Is Ash looking at Wanders? Wanders is just like not sure.
I'll tell you what. Take my hand,
Okay.
hold on, and I will grab it, and you pull me directly out.
All right. We'll do it. So there Wanders is, body on his back, holding on to Ash's hand, ready to pull him out. He's ready for that.
Okay.
I feel like after the vision of Ash doesn't give a single fuck about that corpse. I don't care. Just give me the book.
All
That's
right.
why we're here.
Ash, you reach down, holding Wandrous' hand as you lean. Your fingers clasp around the leather binding of the book.
Blood pressure rising.
You pull it out.
Love it.
That was a question. Do you pull it out?
Oh, yeah. Obviously.
You can feel it sort of wedged in between like the body and the dirt, and you begin to tug it. It resists you before pulling free. Suddenly, you have a book in your hand. What would you like
Excellent.
to do?
Get me out of here, please.
Just picture him. There's 2 fingers just for you.
Wait, turn your chair just a little bit. Everyone, please turn your attention over Vince's shoulder.
Oh.
Is it? Oh, no.
Hold on.
It's missing. There it is.
Yeah.
I got it.
There was it was just over Vince's shoulder earlier. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, you
Kids
have a book.
moved
You have the book in your hand, and you were able to pull Ash out of the grave.
Yes, I do. I yank him right out of there.
And yeah, you have this leather-bound book. As I said, it is old and weathered. It's like stained. You can tell on some of the pages just looking into it. It has kind of a lock on it, but it is busted and rusted with long age and having been buried in this ground. Do you open it and read it?
So what time of day is it? I feel like that's the question to ask.
Yeah, so let's do some math here. You guys, it's like 12 miles back to Valaki, and you would have left in the day, and then you had to dig up 2 graves. And it probably took you 30 or 40 minutes per grave. So it's been about 5 hours since you left Valaki. So if you left like first thing in the morning, we're looking at it's around lunchtime.
So there's probably no way we can make it back to Valaki, is there?
Not before nightfall, no. You could make it probably back to the windmill before nightfall, but all the way to Valaki, somewhere between the windmill and Valaki, it would become nightfall.
Okay, before we... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think I'd rather stay in the windmill than go back to Barovia.
I, too, am kind of anxious about going back to Barovia, I have to admit.
I think we should be careful about opening that book.
I would rather us be... Mm-hmm. Go ahead, sorry.
What are we going to do about what I have on my back?
I mean, so am I worried about going to Barovia? Yes. Am I going to, like, fight you guys on going back? No. I mean, on one hand, that place sucks. On the other hand, this is where this person is from, and I feel like morally obligated to return it home. You know, these folks were looking for it. Now, mind you, okay, and here's the morbid facts, okay? So we could go ahead and just take it on back to Barovia and be like, here, you know, we heard that she was missing. Here she is. Sorry. Or are we about to carry a dead body for an entire day to hopefully run back into these Barovian scouts in Valaki, which is presumably where they've ended up at this point, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're probably going to get to Valaki and spend the night and then come back the next day.
Yeah.
Or we have 2 open graves.
I mean, that we do.
We could secure the body so nothing could get at it, and then tell anybody we meet along the way where the body is and what happened, and that we made it safe so animals could not get it. This is Barovia. There's hair, teeth, and eyeballs all over the place, 7 days a week.
Okay, so yeah, I think that's a pretty solid plan. But I guess the only other question would be is where do we want to camp? Do we want to try to make it back to the windmill? I mean, we cleared it out. Surely to God, that should be a little
and let's bury. Let's do that and let's go.
Hopefully we'll run back into the scouts and we'll just let them know that's where we found her.
Yeah.
Okay. So your plan is to bury this woman in one of these graves. Are you going to, like, mark the grave somehow? I mean, it's obviously going to be freshly dug, but is there a plan to, like...
Well, there's 2 freshly dug ones, and whatever way we're going to mark in our minds which one it is. And yes, while Wanderous is filling them in, Ash and Wanderous filling them in, maybe the other 2 will pile some rocks, particularly, you know, like put a big whatever 1-on-1 to say this is it.
Okay.
How's that?
Good to me.
Ready? So you bury the body, laying it to rest here at the crossroads.
At least temporarily.
Among the criminals and the damned.
Yes,
hung here on these very gallows. And you make your way back towards the windmill. Now, are you going the long way around, or are you going back through the Vistani camp?
Back through the Vistani camp. I vote quickly and tell the Vistani what we've done in case the adventurers hunters get to them.
Real quick, too, Wondrous, which one of us has the tome, would you say?
You have it because you got it out of the grave, unless you give it to somebody.
I just wonder if it'd be worth it to show that to the fortune teller.
So I definitely wouldn't mind doing that. I don't think she'll give us a reading today because she's already gave us one. And typically, like last time she sent us away, it's like, hey, that's too, you know, I can only do so much. Come back tomorrow. But also, I kind of feel like the way that she spoke so far, she just reveals the path. I don't think she really has any other answers. You know what I mean? It's not like she's...
Yeah, that's true.
She's basically telling us where to find answers, not that she has
the
any
answers.
You know,
Yep.
Yeah. The ancient tome on.
Well, I don't know that, but yeah.
I can't.
And we don't have a lot of time, people.
Yeah. Okay. Well, because you've had at least 2 encounters in the last 12 hours, you are able to make your way back to the windmill. You step
Okay.
inside the moldering old windmill, and it is just as you left it. Although, maybe if you, I don't know if you closed the door, it might be a little wetter inside. Do you stay in this like first nasty level? Do you try to go all the way down into like where the hags were? What's your plan?
Would there be enough room for us in the second level, actually?
The second level? Yeah, you probably could stay in there.
I say we Obi-Wan
stairs.
Kenobi this and take the high ground. Okay.
That makes sense.
In case of intruders later.
Yeah, take some inspiration for the tactical thinking of taking the high
That's
ground.
right. Come on.
Take
Let's
that DM
go.
inspiration. And
already have it, though.
I do. So, are you guys? Are you reading the book here or no?
Oh, 100%. I cannot wait. I need to know now.
Okay.
I'm gonna make an Arcana check on it first,
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
to see if
go
I
ahead.
can determine if it's magical or not.
Yeah, go ahead and roll that check.
Let's see.
Listen, Ash had a very traumatic vision, but also is
22.
kind of solidified in their beliefs that this fortune teller lady is leading them in the right direction. So I'm like,
So
yes.
yeah, with a 22, I don't think you sense anything magical about the book.
Okay.
If there is anything, it's like it seems that it's lasting. Like everything else in that grave was like completely moldered and deteriorated. This seems like it should be in the same state, but isn't. But you don't get any like big nasty spell,
Okay.
vibes off of it.
So it's probably just more of like a preservation.
Yeah, maybe it's just
Okay.
cursed to last forever kind of thing.
Fair.
Hard to say. But, okay, so you have found, everyone, the Tome of Strahd. It is your
Let's go.
first
Oh,
of the 3 artifacts. The Tome of Strahd is an ancient work penned by Strahd, a tragic tale of how he came to his fallen state. The book is bound in a thick leather cover with steel hinges and fastenings. The pages are of parchment and very brittle. Most of the book is written in the curious shorthand that only Strahd employs. Stains and age have made most of the work illegible, but several paragraphs remain legible. I'm going to show you this next handout. You don't have to try to read this cursive. The text is written here in the thing, and I'm going to put it in chat for you so that you can see what it says. I'm also going to read it. I am the ancient. I am the land. My beginnings are lost in the darkness of the past. I was the warrior. I was good and the just. I thundered across the land like the wrath of a just god. But the war years and the killing years wore down my soul as the wind wears stone down into sand. All goodness slipped from my life. I found my youth and strength gone, and all I had left was death. My army settled in the valley of Barovia, and took power over the people in the name of a just God, but with none of a God's grace or justice. I called for my family, long unseated from their ancient throne, and brought them here to settle in the castle Ravenloft. They came with a younger brother of mine, Sergei. He was handsome and youthful. I hated him for both. From the families of the valley, one spirit shone above all others, a rare beauty who was called perfection, joy, and treasure. Her name was Tatiana, and I longed for her to be mine. I loved her with all my heart. I loved her for her youth. I loved her for her joy. But she spurned me. Old One was my name to her, elder and brother also. Her heart went to Sergei. They were betrothed. The date was set. With words she called me brother. But when I looked into her eyes, they reflected another name. Death. It was the death of the age that she saw in me. She loved her youth and enjoyed it, but I had squandered mine. The death she saw in me turned her from me, and so I came to hate death. My death. My hate is very strong. I would not be called death so soon. I made a pact with death, a pact of blood. On the day of the wedding, I killed Sergei, my brother. My pact was sealed with his blood. I found Tatiana weeping in the garden east of the chapel. She fled from me. She would not let me explain, and great anger swelled within me. She had to understand the pact I had made for her. I pursued her. Finally, in despair, she flung herself from the walls of Ravenloft, and I watched everything I ever wanted fall from my grasp forever. It was 1,000 feet through the mists. No trace was ever found. Not even I know her final fate. Arrows from the castle guards pierced me to my soul, but I did not die. Nor did I live. I became undead. Forever. I have studied much since then. Vampire is my new name. I still lust for life and youth, and I cursed the living that took them from me. Even the sun is against me. It is the sun and its light I fear the most, but little else can harm me now. Even a stake through my heart does not kill me, though it holds me from movement. But the sword, that cursed sword that Sergei brought, I must dispose of that awful tool. I fear and hate it as much as the sun. I have often hunted for Tatiana. I have even felt her within my grasp. But she escapes. She taunts me. She taunts me. What will it take to bend her love to me? I now reside far below Ravenloft. I live among the dead and sleep beneath the very stones of this hollow castle of despair. I shall seal shut the walls. Seal shut the walls of the stairs that none may disturb me. And that, my friends, is where we are going to call this session of the curse
Plot thickens.
of Strahd. You have found your first of the 3 artifacts, and guess what? You get to level up, babies.
Oh my god! Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So finding each of the artifacts, I will just tell you, will give you a level up. If you can puzzle out the clues given to you by Madame Ava and acquire the tools and knowledge necessary to take on the devil himself, you will get more powerful as you go, in addition to what the artifacts give you. The tome itself does not give you any... It doesn't have powers. It's not magical in that way.
Yeah.
But there's information in here about Kurt Strahd and how he came to be. And I don't think... Let me see if there's any other...
I just feel so sorry for him. Poor little guy.
Yep.
He just got old. You know, it happens to all of us.
I said we were going to end the session there, friends, but I do need one more thing. From Ash Fireforge, would you please make... I believe it is going to be a wisdom saving throw, but hang on one second.
Oh, God.
Listen, I got inspiration to burn. We got to go out on a high here. That's all I got to say.
Okay. Yes, would you please make a... I got to read it. Yes, a wisdom saving throw.
I don't think so.
Okay, so that's a 9.
Let's burn 1 inspiration at least.
Okay, is this chat?
That's chat inspiration.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, listen, I got DM inspiration. Can I burn it too? I can't go out like this.
I'll allow it.
Come on, listen. Listen, Linda, we got to do this. Please. Aha!
All right.
19.
Wow. You were trying to beat a DC 18. and you succeed.
Thank God.
Oh,
Oh wow.
Ooh. Okay. And that, my friends,
What? No.
is where we are going to leave Curse of Strahd. Why did you roll it? I don't know.
You can't make me wait 2 weeks.
Ian, I'm going to tell you, you'll wait longer than 2 weeks. You may never know what that roll was about.
What do you mean?
Check the pillow. If you have any questions, look at the pillow.
However, I will tell you it's very, very good that you made that save. Truly, truly incredible making of that save. Okay, well, that's going to be it for this episode of Curse of Strahd, everybody. Thank you so much for stopping by, hanging out with us for this bonkers campaign and absolute shenanigans that we play. Shout out again to everybody for all the subs, especially Zalestro for hitting our goal for us. Incredible. You're an absolute legend. But to everybody who gave to the bits and the hype train and the subs, you guys are amazing. We appreciate you so much. That all having been said, we're going to do our usual sign-offs. If you would please remind everybody who you played tonight and where we can find you on the internet, if indeed you can be found on the internet. Starting, of course, with Vincent Page. One day I want to start backwards just to mess with you guys. Anyway,
It
Vincent
probably
Page.
would really mess with me. I'm a very depressed Vincent Page, friends. I may never know why I needed to be wise in this moment. But you can find me on Twitch. If you just search up Vincent Page. I stream basically every day, unless I'm here doing this. This is actually like the one day I take off because I'm doing this. I've been Ash Fireforge, and I've had a great time. I just want to say it was worth it, and that's all I got to say.
You were right. All that time ago when you're like, I wonder if that's it, you were totally right. That book was there all along. Onyx.
hey y'all. My name is Omega. I played Onyx Montaharg tonight.
I'm sorry. You're a real person and not a character. God damn it. I'm so
Right.
sorry.
Happens
Omega.
all the time.
No, it's all good. You can find me here every other Friday playing with these lovely folks here. I'm also on TikTok, Omega MT42. Life updates are happening. I'm actually going to post another one here soon. But yeah, glad to be here with these great people.
Excellent. Ozzy.
I'm Ozzy. I played Cass Ambleground, and as always, it's a pleasure.
Excellent. Of course, Bonus Mom.
Hey kiddos, I'm Bonus Mom, and I am absolutely thrilled to be a part of this disgustingly horrible adventure where we dig up dead bodies, and I'm actually carrying a dismembered, gored, disemboweled corpse around on my back and seemingly not even noticing.
I mean, actually, you
I
just
played-
buried. You did just, to be clear, you
I
did
just bury it.
just
I
bury
did
that
just bury it.
in a random
played-
grave. Someone
I
else's.
played Wander in a random and unmarked grave. What have I sunk to? I played Wanderous, the nature domain cleric, but Wanderous doesn't really know that yet because he can't get any good answers. And I just want to say, if anybody ever needed or had a better room than VP does right now for streaming, is that like not totally awesome? And kudos to him for being a great designer, looking marvelous, and I love it that he has my pillows on the couch. You can find me on TikTok Monday through Fridays from about 9:30 to 12:30 every day. We have a rollicking good time, a totally different setup than Neighborhood of the Heart. We just love on each other there, and you all are so welcome. Also, I'm out there on podcasts and YouTube, and I am getting a new computer at the end of this month, and we'll be Twitch gaming with these buffoons and probably making them look very bad. At least that's my plan.
Excellent news. Hello, everyone. I am Pixel. Today, I have been your asshole DM, your horned-up Valachians, your gooey, gory corpses, your disappointed parents and dead brothers, your weird
God.
old crones, your jovial innkeepers. There's a lot of range in this episode. Hopefully it went okay. Your gnome Vistani peoples. We had a lot to do. Very fun. Thank you guys so much to all the cast. You guys did a great job. I thought this was a great episode, and I worth the wait. You know, all that time to get the book, and I think it turned out well. I'm happy with it.
I think we did some amazing work tonight. I think those of us who don't have inspiration from the DM should.
Sure, everyone can take some inspiration from the DM.
Your
and
mama takes care of you, VP.
To be clear, I gave him the Kenobi inspiration, you know. But anyway, that having been said, although you did just use it, I'm Pixel. I GM the games here at Age of Einor. We have a lot on the horizon. We have our next campaign, Region of Bedegar, next week in for a doozy. They are in the midst of quite the scenario over there. There's a void, and people are debating whether or not to jump into it. It's a hell of a time. Definitely come check that out next Friday. And then we'll be back with this. Let's see. We do want to be clear the 28th, which would be when we're doing Curse of Strahd next. We are not doing it because that's the week of the meetup. So we'll not be back with Curse of Strahd until the 12th of May, I believe is when it is. So
oh my God.
It's a month from now.
Yeah.
That is, yeah.
Hold everything. The 12th of May. Do you know what comes out on the 12th of May? I'm just kidding.
I don't know.
Probably...
Is it the
Tears of the Kingdom?
Tears of the Kingdom comes
okay.
out
So we
12th
might
of May.
not actually be live on the 12th of May. It might be the 19th. No, the 26th. Anyway, it's going to be a minute.
No.
We're taking a little break. But hey, what a good place to stop. We just hit a major milestone in this campaign. Anyway, so just be on the lookout. We'll be live as often as we can. We may try to reschedule a night here or there. See what we can do depending on people's lives and schedules. Maybe we'll throw a Saturday in there instead of a Friday. AOA Discord is probably the place to hear that about that kind of information. What else? I'm Hammer Pixel. You can find me here on twitch.tv/HammerPixel, where I've been streaming a lot of Minecraft, some Final Fantasy 14, among a million other things. Honestly, I stream at extremely eclectic times, either like 5 to 10 in the morning, or sometimes in the afternoon, sometimes at night. It's all over the place. Find me when you see me. We have fun over there. And that's all I got. That's where we are. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Is there anybody we should go raid, or what's the vibe, friends?
You know, Pixel, it occurs to me, I don't know if Ozzy is planning to be at the meetup, but we could work around that. We could almost do tabletop and stream it.
Yeah, the tech could be tough. I will say that. I think the tech could be tough.
Okay.
Maybe we'll look at it.
I wouldn't be able to make that on the 28th, unfortunately.
Well, you can make it in a TV at the end of the table.
Absolutely, I could do that. Just not.
It would
in
be
person.
different, but it might be like totally cool, Pixel, with real dice, real miniatures.
Well, we'll see what we can do.
Black Moon is
But
live if you're looking.
Yeah.
Black Moon. Let's go to Black Moon. I insist.
We'll see what we can do, but don't get your hopes up too high. Because I don't know how the tech's going to work out for that. But we are going to go ahead and go raid Black Moon, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you again so much for the subs and the bits and all the support and watching us, all of that. And as always, if you missed anything tonight, catch it on YouTube, podcast after the fact. Or if you just want to rewatch some of the delightful, tricksy things that I played on my characters and that they had to deal with. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much. And we're going to raid Black Moon. We'll catch y'all later. Bye.